Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 544.
Hey!
What's going
We
on?
have a lot to celebrate today. Felicity Huffman just got released from 11 days in jail. Yeah! All right. She's just a child. Leave her alone. Welcome to Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
I like your shirt. What's it say?
Sunshine and whiskey.
Boom. Nothing better. Seth Petrozelli on news. Hello, Seth.
My shirt says we are all scum.
All right.
All right. That's nice.
Also accurate.
Yeah,
Don't
that-
embarrass
that
me.
is accurate.
Bad mood, Seth.
Embarrassing. Thank you for embarrassing Tom in front of somebody we invited a couple of weeks ago to come in here and hang out with us. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to get to curse today. He's going to throw around some F-bombs. Mr. Jim Phillips in the house.
How's it going, Jim?
Hey, good to see you guys again.
Travis Butler in here as well, ready to bumble.
He's on a strict diet today.
Yeah, he's on a strict diet today. Can I talk about that? His wife has him. Is doing a hormone test, Jim.
Oh yeah,
His wife is testing his hormones. So
they
you're not
tell
allowed
if
to
that's
drink,
gonna be.
and you're not allowed to eat coffee, chocolate.
No caffeine, so no chocolate.
Okay,
His cookies have been
Well
they're
done.
lonely.
That's,
I hired Butler just to make my life seem better. Because he
working.
tells me the horrible things he has,
Working.
and I love it every single time. He's like, my wife's got me on a diet. I'm eating the cat food. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but does she know
It's
that
worse
his
than mine.
wife makes his lunch every single day, and it's like usually a bed of zucchini, and then rice, and then green beans, and then like some and carrots.
She's a doctor.
She's a doctor.
She's healthy.
So does she know? Does your wife know that you shit punt her food into the trash
Don't
here?
rat him out.
Yeah, he does every single. She doesn't listen to
Cookies.
this. She
No,
don't
no,
listen
no.
to this.
Sounds
And
like
then
my diet. I'll
He
eat
buys
it.
cookies. And
he's on a diet for what?
I know he looks great. He doesn't need to be on a diet.
What about 150? What?
Yeah, right around the
It's just health reasons. It's
It's a skinny fat.
And then he always complains about not having sex. You and Tom complain the most about not having sex. Me and Samantha, we got it down
We're
in.
fine.
Seth, we know he's got it down in. I won't ask Mr. Phillips. That's
No,
his
you
own
get to
personal-
my age, you don't care about that.
That's where I want to get, Jim.
It's really.
I want to get there.
Wait, I thought you wanted testosterone.
Yeah, but I want the testosterone and not care about
You
that.
just don't worry about it anymore.
So before we get started, because I got a lot to talk about.
we have a huge list of things to get to, but let's get the business out of the way.
Real quick, tonight at Porky's Barbecue, Tony Palmiotti's bringing a bunch of Tom and Dan stuff to give away. And if you want to just go to Porky's, have some delicious dinner tonight, head down there. Tony will be there at 7 o'clock with all the goodie
Treat
bags
bags.
and stuff. And also, we still have a promotion going on our website, tomandan.com. For every T-shirt you buy, you'll get a 32-ounce White Claw
Broken
Tom
cup.
and Dan broken cup. If it breaks, we'll send you another one.
Jim, we've been shipping these plastic cups to listeners that take advantage of the sale we're doing for all of our merchandise, but all the cups get shit smashed in the postal service, so everybody gets a broken cup. So then we have to send out more cups, but we send them out the same way we sent the other cups, so those get shit smashed too. We're not
We
very
have no
bright.
idea.
Not very bright.
Anyway, so there's that. If you would have told me 10 years ago, seriously, like we were doing this podcast 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're like, one day you will have Mr. Phillips as a guest on your show.
Yes.
And the guy that beat up Kimbo Slice.
Yes.
I would have been like, is it the end of the world?
Are we that different? Where it has to be like, am I that much of a scumbag?
No. Well, 10 years ago, you were super famous. Now, that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah, well,
still have my
so
name.
was I.
no. I'm just saying. It's Jim is more impressive than anything.
Thanks a lot.
No, I'm saying it's like I wouldn't believe it 10 years ago.
At least he still looks good.
You look great.
No,
you look
no,
good.
and your face feels amazing. Let me-
Doesn't it?
I'm gonna put that out
happening?
there right now.
Okay,
Facials.
what you
Yeah,
guys
touch my face.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do it
touch
once.
it. Can I touch your face?
Sure, of course.
Do the back of your finger. That's
No,
how you
right
test.
here, right here, right here.
Oh my god!
How soft is that? It's like
It's very soft.
soft.
It's
It
softer
is.
than my face.
Are you been getting
Facials. Yeah.
facials?
Yeah.
That's
My
okay.
wife talked me into it.
Yeah.
It's great.
You do have a nice young, like healthy
Glow.
skin
Like a
look.
glow.
Yeah,
It's glowing.
yeah, and you don't drink, right? So like, I mean, because that'll eat
Not
away
anymore.
well, that'll eat away at your skin. I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's what does it. When you look, you can look at people and see whether they're a big drinker or not. Like if you look at Tom, I mean, sides of his nose look like a road map, greasy, big red
the
nose.
rosacea on his cheeks.
Yeah.
The big old cauliflower thing sitting
Oh yeah, looks like W.C.
What have I done to
Fields over
anybody?
there. My little check a day.
Giant,
Yeah.
Yeah,
saggy,
tiny
boobs.
dick, little
Come
bitty
on.
acorn dick.
Come on.
No memories.
So Jim, I know
Doesn't even know how to use it.
I knew that Seth was coming in, and we were going to have you in today, and I wanted to ask you because you know a lot, Jim, and I really respect the amount of things that you know. You're well read. You are a Renaissance man.
He does something you have been
Well-traveled.
wanting to do. He dabbles in hobbies.
Yes.
You don't, and I know you want to.
Yes, and but also
I thought you were cutting wood. I thought that was your big thing. You're going to saw some wood on a straight line. The last time we talked. Remember?
been some difficulties with that, Jim.
We talked about this
Holding the
yesterday.
saws.
He was using what saw were you using?
Jigsaw.
A jigsaw.
He was
Jigsaw
using a
incident.
jigsaw to cut through cardboard for his wife. That's true story.
It's more of an IKEA backing situation. Ruined it all.
Particle board.
Yeah. But not about me, but I wanted to talk to you. The gentleman to your left, Seth Petrozelli,
He's a very lonely man.
Yes, he's had some relationship issues
Really?
in the
Yeah.
past.
I'm having the best time right now. I don't know what you guys
Yeah,
are
well, I mean, I can see in your eyes that your mouth is saying best time, but in your eyes, worst.
I was hoping
you're
you-
sad.
I was hoping you read through that. so
Yeah,
I'm glad
no,
you
I
did.
can tell you're
No,
sad.
I am not sad. I'm
I
really
mean,
happy.
every night you post a picture on Instagram, it'll just be like him snuggling his little dog
I love-
alone.
I like my dog.
No, but alone.
Yes.
You're a lonely
Because I
man.
don't post pictures of girls that I'm hanging with on there ever. 'cause-
illegal. But so
Yeah, because you'd have to blur their
Now-
faces, and I'd have to Photoshop
Oh
out
my
the
God.
playground equipment. You know.
Come
Now,
on,
Jim-
come on. Don't put that on me.
Seth is older than I am, and not by much, but he prefers.
You see this? You smell a setup? I smell a setup.
No, he prefers
I'm
to
waiting
date girls in their young 20s, and
Yeah.
that's what he likes. And
Smart.
and now, yes, God damn it, this didn't go the way.
They just high fives.
He's on my side. Fuck you, buddy. This backfired on you tremendously, and I love it.
Hold on, but
Hold on a second. I have to recover from the high five of the fuck you, buddy.
I did not expect that.
That's the greatest thing. Jim just totally nonchalant. Like, sorry, man.
You know what? It is better. God, I got
I got tears in my eyes.
live with this old bag. Yelling at me all the time. No, but Jim, I tell Seth all the time, like, I think that his mentality is wrong as far as like you want to date these younger women, and I really think you should focus towards women that are your age or maybe an older. Here's the thing: if you want some happiness,
Why? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Jim, because the young girls like Seth.
I've been married 3 times, and I've had a bunch of relationships,
Yes.
and each one, my partner or my wife gets younger and younger and younger
Oh,
and
yes.
younger.
Now, you
and
knew
the
I knew
key,
that,
the
right?
key to a happy partnership or a key to a happy marriage for a
listening.
man is to be with a woman or your partner who's at least 20 years younger.
Wow.
My wife Catherine is 20 years younger than I am, and it's a
didn't know that.
perfect partnership. Yeah. It's great.
Well, 20 years younger to 7,
'Cause they-
17.
Hold on a second. I think
mean-
is this where I point at you and go, fuck you,
I
buddy?
mean, if we're all of a sudden we're talking about a girl 8 years old, I don't know how old.
Okay, 19. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So you're about to be 40. So
So you sit around, you can talk about Tiger Beat magazine, and
No, we have some. The girl that I'm dating now is 22, and we have similar interests.
Like what?
We we both like the gym.
Okay.
All right, there's one.
And that's it.
We both like to cook.
Okay. Food.
Yes,
Yeah,
food.
now that's a big one. The kitchen,
Yeah, the kitchen,
cooking. Yeah,
kitchen.
I can see.
All right, that's 2 minutes.
Then it's hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah, then sex is fun. Yeah.
Okay, now
I
this.
like to look at her face.
Where's
It's
that
pretty.
what's that old line about, the broccoli on your ear and so, oh, you look so sexy. You look so, you're so beautiful with the sexy broccoli on your ear, cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I love you. And then after you're together for a while, it's like, what the fuck? Get the broccoli off your ear. It's like, come on, it's disgusting.
Jimmy can't get that broccoli out of his ear.
There's ours here.
When you're first together, everything is beautiful and sexy and is wonderful. Oh my God. You got a cherry tomato in your hair. Oh, I love you. I love the look. It turns me on. Then you're together
it
for
wears out.
3
That's
months,
my
6. Yeah, you wear out. You get that.
That's my problem. It wears out on me within a week.
Really? Does it really?
That's my
Does it
That's
really?
been my issue the past almost 3 years now. Yeah, just like
How quickly does the relationship gas out?
I gas her out at about maybe like a few weeks, maybe 3, maybe a month.
Who's
that a relationship?
Who's getting
That's not a
gassed out
relationship.
here? Is she?
No, I do.
Enough
I do.
of you, or are you
No,
saying enough of her?
I get. I'm very picky.
He's
and
very
I
picky.
just,
Yeah.
I mean, does something happen?
I'm bad because you know what I am.
So get the broccoli in the
Jim,
ear or
I'm
something?
going
I'll
to
find-
cut to
I'll
the
find
chase,
something.
Jim.
I'll
I'm just
find
going to cut to the
something. I always
chase. You know
find
what the
something.
problem is? He likes to eat their butts.
No, come on.
No,
Don't
no.
say that in front of Jim.
No.
No, come on.
It's true.
No.
It's true.
I was going to bring that up because it's embarrassing.
Only on this show. I couldn't say that on ACT when Jim was here, but
Right.
Jim's here today, and I think it's important to
Fun
share
Friday.
You don't want to hear about that.
the real. Look, they were doing it when he was in his heyday. I'm sure.
I don't
that,
think they were doing it back in the day. I think that's a new
No.
young girl. I don't think
No, that
I'm
is
saying
not
it.
a new thing.
Yeah. I didn't do that
Jim.
in the 70s.
That was against the law at that time.
That was literally
And
written.
you guys blow that way.
And
out
my
of proportion.
parents raised a good boy.
Non-butt eating son.
It's one of the things that my parents passed down to me. Jim, do not do that.
Can you imagine this guy though? You're dating.
I had a bad
you're-
upbringing.
you're-
My dad used to beat me. I went right to the butt because of that.
My dad used to beat me, and I don't eat butts. So I don't know.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They're embarrassing. I feel like
What about child abuse?
no.
The butt.
I didn't want to get into that with Mr. Phillips here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying it.
I wasn't gonna bring
But that's the
I'm
real
trying to-
problem. 3 days into the
That's
relationship,
not
he
the
wants to eat the
prob-
butt.
No, that's
He
not the
moves too
problem
quick,
at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't move quick at all. I move slow. That's the thing. I don't want to progress it to anything, a commitment. I don't want to make it Facebook official per se. You know, I don't want to
Uh-huh.
like.
Wanna
I
eat
don't want
the
to be
ass and move
exclusive with the
on.
person. I'm always just like, let's see how it goes, and I'm just like, whatever.
Jim,
Are they doing something at the gym that turns you off? I mean, are they running on the treadmill faster? I mean,
No,
do they do it
sometimes.
faster?
Competitiveness.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. I'd rather. him be
That'll
like a-
kill a relationship.
I'd like to find
yeah.
a girl that's really into the gym like that. That'll be like that. It's usually the opposite. Usually it's like
No, I mean if
Usually
you're
it's-
running
usually it's-
if you're running a 7-minute mile and she's doing
No, I don't care.
6:30, is that
as long as she
that's a killer
as
for
long as-
you?
No, as long as she tries and is fit, then I'm happy with it.
Mm.
But if she tries and is not fit, then I'm like trying to push them a little hard and be like,
Maybe
just try one more time at the gym.
Damn.
we go back
Yeah,
to.
I know.
Damn,
I know.
nation, man.
I know.
Yeah, that would be. I don't think I have the balls to do that. Like, I don't even do that with my wife, and she's like working out really hard, and she's lost like
she's
weight.
well, that's awesome.
And
though.
she looks great, but I don't like. You got to tread lightly on that. Even with compliments, you got to be like looking great. You know, like keep it up, but you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be like way better than before. You know, like you got to.
Right.
It's a very,
There's a middle ground. I
yeah,
get it.
you gotta be
it.
careful
But it's
with
hard.
it.
It's hard to tread on that middle ground.
Jim,
Pun
do you
intended.
know about all the because I am fascinated by like the dating apps and how basically everybody's hooking up off of dating apps and that's how everybody dates nowadays. I have no idea about it because I've been with the same lady since I was in high school. So none of the modern dating trends.
get it.
I have no idea.
You didn't know
so,
the dating trends back then either,
no, I
to
didn't.
be fair.
You're right. I never
You
even
didn't date anybody.
I didn't. But with the dating apps, I feel like it's easier for people to hook up.
Right.
Probably harder though to find some sort of relationship because with the app you're looking at just someone's picture and like some bullshit, like description
Profile,
about
just
them.
a little description.
I've talked to plenty of people who've done that. I mean, that's changed. I talked to one guy and had a date with a woman. She was 8 months pregnant when she showed up.
Oh, wow.
Or you talk to women, a guy shows up, he's got no teeth or something like that. Another was, and they're probably serial killers, all of them. I don't get.
Yeah.
That's what Sam said.
No, I mean,
Jim, you fit in really nicely here.
Well, the trick is not to meet them the first time. You always meet them at a neutral place, like
Public
place.
yeah.
I never, ever, hey, come to my place and I'll drive you somewhere. I'm like, oh, no, we meet here at first. I'm not picking you up. I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting in the same car with you alone. We meet at one
What
place.
were you afraid of?
Because I don't know how it is. All
he's
one
got
girl has
arms
to
the
say
size of a
is that
fucking tree trunk.
Exactly,
I'm
and
not
that's
going
all
to get in the car with her. She's 110 pounds. I mean, what the?
It's because what she could say. She could say she got in my car and then I tried to like touch her
Eat her
and do all
butt.
that.
Oh,
Eat
you're
her
more
butt.
worried about accusations.
I'm petrified of that. Just falsely being accused of some stupid thing. Hence my cameras.
Well, what difference does it make
He runs
whether
cameras, too.
you get in the car or after 3 dates you're at your apartment or whatever?
Right.
The accusation can still
He's got
be made.
cameras
I got
all
ca-
over
I
his
got
apartment.
You got cameras?
Yeah.
He films himself.
That's how paranoid he is.
You are fucked up. You really are.
Maybe that's a problem.
You're genuinely fucked up.
Ah, damn.
He films the eating the butt.
Yeah.
No.
He's got a
You look great, but
No,
you
I
are
don't.
fucked up.
This is what. This is what happens is it films. It deletes itself after 24 hours. But I make sure that after the coitus happens, we text the next day. I'm like, oh, that was fun. Was it fun? Okay,
Did he say
great.
coitus?
coitus? The coitus.
Coitus, coitus?
Whatever
I
it is.
can't breathe.
I make sure we text and be like, oh, everything was okay. The next day, then it's okay.
For like text record.
For text record proof. Exactly.
There's no way to live. I feel like this.
No, it's fucking horrible. That's why he's
Jim
kind of
looks
halfway
done.
right when he says I'm miserable sometimes. Because it's not fun.
Is it? But no,
It's a full-time
Do
job.
other people do this?
No, probably not.
Okay.
I do because I'm just weird about it.
Oh my God, I have tears in my eyes.
Well, so what about this? So Jim brought up a good point as far as like you really, because you work out so much, and that's basically it. You have to work out. Oh no, come on! I mean,
I have more to me.
Yeah, you do.
I have lots to me.
Me, I've
We
lost.
have lots of.
I pick things up and put them down.
with your gym and stuff. I mean,
Me like shows, me like books,
You like
me multifaceted.
so
My best friend Rocky Dog.
maybe you get an interesting hobby. Now, I'm not sure if any young 22-year-olds into whip making or
What make it?
Crow calls, like say he's got a crow
Those are
call
Jim's
there.
hobbies.
But it's an interesting thing. Like maybe you get an interesting hobby.
Karate's my hobby.
Chicks.
22-year-olds don't give a shit about karate.
Yeah, you're right.
Karate, I mean,
I was trying to defend it.
I mean, I want to respect karate, but
I know it's hard to like get a girl to be like, oh wow, he does karate. Of course.
My
Right.
5-year-old nephew does karate.
I know. It's
He
kinda-
does it in a strip mall. He's really good. He just
right.
got his
and I like
blue belt.
posting pictures of me hitting bags like kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and MMA more than karate.
Like you're right. Karate's for like 6 to 11-year-olds, and
No.
then like 48 plus.
Here, case in
That's
point.
why I'm doing adult-only karate.
Case in point.
It's all 40-year-olds and above.
Case in point,
Great.
when you ask Tom's 5-year-old, son, Tommy, what he wants to be when he grows up, he replies,
Yeah, a karate man.
A karate man.
Yeah. And so that's
You're
what
a-
kids want
Well,
to be.
I'm his hero because I actually became a karate man. I'm the one person whose profession is karate man.
I don't know if I'd say Seth Petrozelli karate man.
No.
do you have a card that says that?
I'd be like gym owner,
Yeah.
podcast news guy. Once everyone.
It's douche news, butt eating karate man.
Well, speaking of news,
Dude, you shave your legs?
get him, Jim.
Dude.
No, just look, I mean, I used to. I went to triathlons and I used
Yeah,
to shave my
I trim
legs.
them.
I was just wondering.
I won them because when we roll on the mats in jiu-jitsu.
Gotcha.
I hate the hair getting all over the mats.
All
and
right,
stuff.
just wondering.
That so I
That's
can
not
show
what
off
I
my
do.
sexy calves.
It's for nefarious reasons. Is that roll around on a mat?
It's so when she goes home, she's not covered with any speck of DNA. It's for for some crazy reason.
So
You want to do news?
Yeah, Seth. Let's do some news
Sure,
now.
I'm sure Jim will want to weigh in on Seth's news story.
Yeah. I do feel a little embarrassed, Jim being here, and
I got good ones there for him.
I feel like I assume that
Why?
in Jim's career,
Jim's seen more than we have,
yes, but I assume in
so
his
you can't throw anything at him where he's going to be embarrassed.
But when he saw like
you can.
like a new generation of
Stand
broadcasters, and I'm sure Jim said at one point like this is the end, this is the demise of broadcasting and the professionality of it. This is what he meant by it. Like this, this is exactly like
Today we are taking Jim to the edge.
Yeah. And just be careful. He laughs at super.
No, I
sad parts of
intentionally
it.
put a non-laughing
Okay.
news thing.
Well,
There's one that I might snicker at.
What are you going to do here? Are you going to read a headline? Are you going to tell a story?
He will.
What are you-
He's got.
I have my own way.
He
of
has his
do-
method.
No, I just
Okay.
He handwrites
I
it
handwrite
too.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
lately I've been doing notes, and then I have stuff on my phone.
Okay, well, here we go. Here's your intro.
You want me?
Okay, cool. Wednesday.
Trying to prove he's gonna die. The CT is kicking in with every new hit at the gym. He laid out Kimbo with an attack, but the Russian won't call him back. And we all forgot about that fight. Just move through for long, you're gonna die. From fighting in the UFC to reading news to you and me, you could say he wears a lot of hats, but we'll just focus on his eyes. So hippo people, get off your hooves and put them together for you know who. As if you narcs don't have a clue. It's Seth Petrozelli with your Douchebro news. It's Seth Petrozelli with your Douchebro news. Narps.
All right, news today brought to you
There you go.
by At Home Floor Store. Daniel redid his whole house with At Home Floor Store.
I did.
And if you want to save some money, because they do not have a brick and mortar establishment, which saves you money because they could pass that savings along to you, just call them. They'll come to your house. They'll show you all the samples. They'll leave samples with you if you want. Carpet, all the luxury vinyl plank, tile, anything, any flooring they could do. And they'll definitely beat any price. I know that Francis, my neighbors, used them to do his whole house, and he shopped it out. Seth used At Home Floor Store. Daniel did his whole house.
I did every floor in my home with that Shaw like luxury vinyl planking.
Yeah.
And then we also got that really nice carpet.
I've used them.
I
For
got the nice carpet too.
And I'm about to do my whole house with At Home Floor Store.
Nice.
It's coming up soon. So
Very cool.
AtHomeFloorStore.com. All right, Seth, what's your first story?
All right, first story. I'm nervous now because he's there.
I know.
I thought you guys made friends.
No. Well, it's the first one is a little risque, isn't it? All right, Miley Cyrus tests Instagram's community guidelines with a selfie exposing her nipples.
I saw that.
Oh, I saw it too.
Is that a question or is it? I don't know what
So
Yeah, people have been doing that lately. Like some of the people, like this whole free the nipple thing is like really huge. So on Instagram, like when I've gone through this past week, I noticed that a lot of people were testing the guidelines. It seems to be like a thing.
Yeah, she tested Instagram's commonly used guidelines this past Tuesday by posting a series of selfies in which her nipples were exposed. The 26-year-old is seen rocking a sheer white tank top paired with a denim cutoff style shorts. She then seemingly acknowledged that she was pushing the guidelines when she posted, P.S. This is getting removed soon. I've been warned by the Gram gods.
all right.
But the thing is, per Instagram guidelines, they don't allow nudity on the platform, which includes photos of females' nipples, but it does allow pics of post-mastectomy surgery and women actively breastfeeding. That's allowed.
So you can show a nipple if it's
As
breastfeeding.
long as it's not sexual, I guess.
Okay.
But don't some guys sexualize, like if the nipple's out getting sucked on by a baby? Isn't some guy
I'm
still
sure
looking at a
there's
nipple?
somebody.
Well, are you asking for a friend? Is that what you're?
Jim, what do you think about
Jim stunned at Seth's reaction.
Do you want to see the picture, Jim?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Let me see.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
Oh, Miley Cyrus is hot.
Don't
I think
put it
Miley
on the
Cyrus-
camera.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think Miley Cyrus is gorgeous. by the way.
She has shown her nipples, and she's been nude on the internet lots of times. Now, Jim, I know that in what is it, Colorado, Washington, Portland,
certain areas,
Oregon,
more progressive areas.
They changed the law where women now can be topless in public and not be. This happened like a month ago or whatever.
Yeah,
so
it's
like
relatively
Denver,
new legislation.
Yeah, and the whole, I guess, argument being that hey, if men can be topless, we have the same anatomy. Basically, we have breasts, but some men have breasts. I used to have bigger breasts than I did, a year ago. And
I'm getting a reduction.
If I smushed them together, I mean, it'd be hard to tell between me and a woman.
I can tell. Yours are too hairy.
Well,
the only hair he has are on his nipples. It's weird. It's off-putting. It's like 2 rhino cones.
So
it comes to a point.
It will be in the future. This whole women showing their breasts will be it makes sense that we'll probably migrate the same way that Europe has, right? With having topless women,
topless beaches and stuff, more of them,
or on TV in Europe. Yeah,
but that hasn't changed. Nobody's running around Paris and London and Venice topless. It's not.
Just true, but they have it on TV. When I was in Europe, they had topless women on TV, and it was during the day.
Is that still the American Gladiators you watch?
I have no idea what that was.
He watched some topless American Gladiators that he won't stop talking about.
That's a thing?
Oh, and when I went to it was
in Germany.
Germany or something like that. Yeah, it was during the day.
German gladiators?
I don't know if I want to see some big German.
Yeah, it would be, but I think it's still under the brand.
Germans have a thing about nudity. I mean, they've had nudist beaches and nudist resorts for generations.
Really?
They're really, especially East Germans. Back when it was divided, East Germans love the nudity thing. I'm not sure why or where it came from.
I thought he said the duty thing.
Jim,
they
have you ever
that
been?
too.
They like that
Sometimes
too.
they like that too. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a nudist resort?
Just the beaches.
Yeah, the nude beaches. Have you been nude at a nude beach?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. God,
It's
Why
great.
you gotta make it weird? That's a personal question. Why are you embarrassing me in front of Jim? You ever been nude? You got any pictures of yourself, Jim?
I was just asking.
Can I see your dick,
But
Jim?
I mean, it is true. I mean, once you get acclimated to it, it's just no big deal.
Why would you be nervous about it?
Because I don't know. I want to make sure that it looks good the whole time.
But nobody
Nobody's
cares.
paying any attention.
Bullshit, bull. Really?
Nah, I don't think so.
I judge people looking at them. So why would
yeah,
they?
you're
You're
very
so
judgy
if
man.
if you went to the nude beach,
Well, you look good. People would pay
Well,
attention to you.
I would-
I mean, but old farts like me, nobody's paying any attention.
Yeah, at the nude beaches, it does seem to be.
You only give attention to what needs attention.
Yeah. It's I mean, the only experience I have with nude the resorts or beaches was in the hedonism, and
That was a different animal. Have you ever been to any of those?
No,
It's
no
gross.
interest.
It's gross, Jim. It's
No
disgusting.
interest.
They sent me to get margaritas one time, and there was a dick sucking contest going on at the
Shut
bar.
Yeah, you got
No, it was
these hot
disgusting.
tubs. There's stew pools. I mean,
Stew pool.
things
Perfectly
are
said.
growing. In, no,
It's
I have no
disgusting.
interest in
No,
that
me
whatsoever.
neither.
a lot of dudes that cuckold.
Yeah.
the
Like,
main,
here, have sex with my wife. I'm like, nah, I'm out. I'm good. I'm good.
So
Hey, so what are you people doing? I mean, I don't get it.
when
You
I was
won
nude,
that, though.
No.
He wants to swing.
No,
Oh, yeah?
No, well, not to swing. I like the lifestyle as far as, the getting together with your friends and all
Oh,
your
tell me
friends, old
more.
ladies. Listen, I know some people. I like a dude sitting with a bunch of topless, his wife and a bunch of their wife's friends topless. It's like, that's a better life. Right? I mean, it's better than not being topless, right? If everybody's cool with it. I don't know.
No wonder you're so cool.
Why are you
You're flirting with
screaming
your
at
wife.
us?
My God.
It's better, right? Is it better? You're like yelling at him.
sorry
What
to
the
scream,
fuck's
man.
wrong with you, man?
So, did they take down Miley Cyrus's pic?
No, it's still. I
it still
screenshotted
up?
that yesterday. It's still up. It's
Huh.
been up for like a week now, almost a week now.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe because she said this will be gone soon, they're like,
Like,
no,
oh,
it
yeah,
won't.
no,
You know, like
yeah.
maybe they're
Because
like,
it is technically covered. It's just see through. You see them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's.
Is this a big controversy? Is this?
No, I don't think anything.
I got
I mean,
blocked from Instagram because of one of my posts.
Yeah, it's just.
Just because my hog was hanging out the side. Like it wasn't hanging out. But
What did he say? His what? What did he say? His hog?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
You got a big old thermos.
No,
Jim.
I took a picture and
I've
it was
seen
just
it.
showing, and I tried to promote it, and it wouldn't let me promote it because it was showing through my pants.
Is that why? The hog
There's
police?
no other reason why.
The hog
The hog police. Some guy in India was like, no, you can't have that.
Why does he sound Italian?
What if you had like...
you got to have a big hog hanging out to your pants.
That's where they,
What if it's just a
they're call
growth
centers.
on your leg or something? You know, like it could have been
It's a goiter.
It's the hemorrhoids coming up
crotch
through the
goiter.
other
You
way.
got like you got elephantitis down there.
I don't know. It got denied.
He's
I know
very
that.
blessed, Jim. He is, and he shows it off a lot.
Not on purpose. And
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is
very
on
blessed.
purpose
I'm very,
because
I'm,
it's,
I'm
you
average.
can see the
You
veins
send
in
me
it,
texts
man.
and you're like,
That's
look
just
at
for
this.
you.
Wow. Okay.
Why do I feel like
What's
Jim will never
average?
come
I don't know
back?
what. I don't need to see anything, but what's average? I don't know what average is.
It's like this the mic he's talking into. It's like that.
Because I'm below average.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it's never bothered me as long as things are working. You know,
Oh, yeah,
it's,
yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
most
any
part. No, I'm joking.
You got some prostate problems, don't you?
No, none.
And you got
Remember,
big.
I had those. I had that
He's
check.
got
I had
long
those
hemorrhoids, long ones.
No, I don't have it.
Because of the fighting and the straining of the lifting. It's long. It looks like a ponytail.
Looks like a wizard sleeve.
Yeah. No, it's just they're big and they're purple. It looks like you got a
That's not
jellyfish.
purple at all.
Looks like you got a
It's
Portuguese man of war hanging out of your
It's
ass.
skin tone. Well, there you go. That's a better.
are you
analogy.
showing these things off? I mean, what,
No, the hemorrhoids. I just know. We've talked about it
We've
before.
talked about it. We were hemorrhoid
And
brothers.
this guy had a fissure.
What's
A what?
Stop talking
This
about
guy had
it.
a fissure.
What is
and-
that?
Why are you
It's
saying
It's
that?
called a fissure, not a fissure.
A fissure. He had a fissure.
No,
and
come
he had
on.
to
It's
give
a
it
tear. It's a tear in your butthole.
Come on. Why can't we be
This
serious?
was
for
your
one
idea, Tom.
I'm afraid to ask, how did that happen?
Tom, I think Tom got
bad
his from
living.
I
pain
can see him just
addiction.
being so stressed.
I think it's because he wipes so hard when he stands.
Oh,
and
No,
it gets
come
crumbles
on.
everywhere.
Come on.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm
He
sorry.
wipes so hard
Don't
the back
talk
of the
about it.
toilet seat gets crumbles
No,
on it. Sometimes I
come
got to
on.
broom off the
He
toilet seat.
paper cuts his ass.
Paper cut your ass.
Stop.
Yeah, paper cuts.
It's too much.
You got to get the bidet.
Why is it too much? We're all just humans here.
I know, but let's
Fun
talk
Friday.
about it. Jim doesn't want to hear about this. Go next story, Seth.
The next story. All right. JetBlue is testing a new checked carry-on bag fee at the
Checked
Orlando
bag?
Airport. Checked bag. Listen to this. If you've flown carry-on with carry-on bags any time in the past few years, you've likely encountered two things: an airline asking passengers to gate check their bags, completely full overhead bins by the time you board. More passengers tend to bring their luggage on board since most airlines have eliminated completely checked baggage, the free, checked baggage thing
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
does. JetBlue is testing giving customers the option to accept carry-on size bags weighing a maximum of 25 pounds at the check-in counter as checked luggage for only $5 rather than the full price. So instead of taking time to take your carry-on through like the security, which takes time, everyone sits there and waits for you to empty it and all that crap, instead of like $35 check fee, it's just $5 and then it goes underneath instead. So it's basically just a cheaper checked bag.
Yeah. So you
I
don't
guess.
have to bother with bringing your
Bring
bag through
it
all the
back
security.
through all the
Oh, yeah.
security and stuff like that. And it's split 50-50. I read the reactions, and people are like, the whole point of bringing a check bag is to make it so much faster where I can just grab it and get off the plane, not wait for my baggage
Well,
to come
I
back
like
through.
it. Normally, I like it because I have like my Xanax in there if I need it, or a
Yeah,
magazine,
yeah.
or my
Stuff that you can't
laptop, or
bring.
So like for me, I've got stuff that I think I need. Like something. I don't know, something in their headphones.
I feel like all airline travel has basically been ruined, right?
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's a gigantic pain in the ass.
And no one cares about like even dressing decently anymore. Like just wear what you'd wear to
you can't.
just Applebee's, for God's
No,
sake.
people go in their pajamas.
I know.
do.
Yeah. Your pajamas, no, like there's pajama sandals,
Flip-flops, yeah.
Well,
slides.
where do you guys stand on? And I'm asking, so I'm not saying I'm for this, but where do you guys stand on if I'm taking like a flight to Australia and it's long? Can I get away with wearing something a little more
I don't care
comfortable
what you
because
wear.
I'm probably gonna sleep?
Yeah.
You're not wearing your onesie or your pajamas for crying out loud.
But like jeans,
Sweat-
like can I? Because I remember
like
one time
sweatpants or
sweatpants
something.
right
now? Sweatpants
I've been
work?
on planes where
No,
people
I
take
do.
their shoes off, their
yeah.
socks off, they're walking into the restroom with,
seen one
with
shit their
nothing. You
socks?
know,
Yeah,
it's just,
have you ever been next to a guy with shit on his shoes?
yeah.
Don't
That's Seth.
So, but
Yeah, he
there was a
did.
time,
he shit
Jim.
his shoes. on
I'm
a
total
plane
accident.
flight.
The only time I was embarrassed ever in life was that day. I was embarrassed.
When did that get ruined, Jim? Do you think? Like what
I have no
decade?
idea.
Was it like in the 2000s,
I'm
the
gonna
90s?
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna put that on Gen X, my guys. I think we did it.
Yeah. Was it?
I
I
don't
think it was when
boomers-
deregulation came along, and it was just cheaper to fly. And you get, and then you get ne'er-do-wells who are flying. They don't know any better. They used to take the fucking bus.
Yeah.
And now they're on planes. They don't know it.
Yeah.
They just don't know any better.
Is there airlines
bus people.
that are more
It is.
expensive? That
You're probably
weed
better
out
off
the
taking a
sweatpants?
bus now than a plane. You probably people
or
are
train.
you get on the bus and people are getting on board in tuxedos and 3-piece suits and looking real sharp.
Jim, did you ever take the Concorde? Did we talk to you about
No,
that? No. Okay,
no.
but I feel like that was the
What's your
last
longest flight?
bastion of
Probably 8 hours, 9-10 hours.
like
That's a long flight.
across the pond, right? Like over to Europe or something.
Yeah, but I mean, even first class now is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no one
Tell
knows.
me about
Because
it.
what they do is they bump. What's happening? Not to be too elitist, but I am elitist. What happens is they bump. There is a reason they have a curtain is to separate first class
Yes.
from those fuckers in the back
Yeah,
with
that's
their
me.
kids, and and so what they do is they bump them up. Well, I got 80,000 sky miles or some shit, so they come up to first class, and they're big pains in the ass. They don't know how to behave. They bring
I'm
their
with
kids
Jim.
up there. They're
Animals.
crawling all
They're
over
animals.
the place. They're taking their shoes and socks off. Yeah, it's there's a reason they call it first class.
yeah. I like that, and like I feel like the Concorde was like the last plane travel experience that was like hey, do you want to pay an insane amount of money and you'll get this like ridiculous experience of
Somebody's
like first
actually
class.
interested in bringing that back.
I hope so.
There was a news article a couple of weeks ago where they're going
Yeah,
to
you
try
can
and
fly from New York to London in 3.5 hours. It's just when they land, 5,000 homes, the windows break because of all the noise.
Sonic boom,
but they're not first class.
Qantas.
Who cares?
Is it Qantas?
If your house is
I don't
directly
know.
located over a landing zone, then you
Qantas is
break the windows.
they're going one step further. This came out 2 days ago. My wife was talking to me about it. If you were going to Australia, it's like a 16-hour flight or something ridiculous. It's insane.
It's 22.
But but they have a nonstop. So they have a 22-hour nonstop flight. Qantas does. But what they did is they took out a bunch of seats and they made an area that has a gym. So now the plane has a gymnasium where you can work out. They also have on the opposite side of the gym. They have an area for like a nursery for mothers that are breastfeeding, kids that want to run around and play. So that way that you don't get the screaming kid. The kid screaming, you take them back to the nursery. It's supposed to be like a it's like a
giant Airbus,
like a soundproof type deal, and you go in there and the kid can be a kid without bothering everybody else. But they're having to. The problem is that they're having to pull so many seats out that the price will probably go up because there's less people that can be on the flight.
It's worth it.
Yeah, I think so too. You get a gym and you get a nursery. I feel like it's better for everybody. Kids are going to be happier. Parents are going to be happier. People that don't have kids and hate kids are going to be happier. And then gym rats like Seth are going to be super
I'll
happy.
still be an anxiety-ridden crazy guy on the plane.
But you would be better if you were able to get the
if I was able to
anxiety out.
stand up and do something,
Yeah,
then
do some
yes.
cardio or run on a treadmill.
punch something.
Yeah.
You don't like
something.
flying?
I hate flying.
Scared?
Scared to death.
Worse than me? I think
Taking
you're worse
off or
than me
landing?
now.
Or just flying
Just
in general?
flying and no, landing I'm good with because I know I'm getting somewhere where it's
Oh,
done.
not if the landing gear's not
Taking
down. Then
off,
you're going to wind over in, and then you're a flame
No,
ball.
takeoff is the worst.
No,
Takeoff is the
takeoff
worst
sucks.
because if you're going up and the engine stop, you're just going to drop like a damn rock. If you're coming in for a landing and the engines go, at least you got a little bit of glide down to that runway. Taking off though, that's what drives me
Me
crazy.
too. And then in the
Especially when the doors close, the wheels come up, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
air,
Everybody does it too. Everybody says, what was that noise?
You've seen me do that.
Yeah. Have you ever been on a bad plane flight, Jim?
Yeah.
I've
been on a bunch of them.
And to where you thought and people were screaming. Like I've never been on a plane flight where it got that bad.
If you're on a flight with me, you're on a plane where it's someone screaming. Literally every flight, no matter what, a bump, and I'll go, and I'll hit somebody or
Why
something.
do you scream like,
I don't know. I'll just jump and get scared.
When your bad plane flight, was it just turbulence, like horrible? Or is that
No,
a storm?
it's just bad pilots, I think. It was just they weren't, flying into the Virgin Islands. If you don't do it right, you're just going to go straight into a mountain. I mean, so they do that. They do certain things. You're going. I know just enough about flying to say this is not right. This is not correct. Something's wrong here.
Yeah. It's always
Other people.
Yeah, you're right. You have the knowledge because you got your pilot's license. No, but you trained.
I couldn't land.
Oh, is that the?
I was scared to death of landing. I take off, fine. Fly it around, fine. But when I came in for landing, and I did gliders, and I did the propeller thing,
That's awesome.
I just could not. I'd come in for a landing, and about 10 feet off the ground, I'd be like, because I thought it pancake it. I thought
right. Yeah.
So you wouldn't commit to going all the way down. And because you're afraid of smacking.
I flew the runway at Orlando Executive Airport, the whole runway 10 feet off the ground. I couldn't put it down.
What's your instructor saying?
He said, "Okay, here we go again." And I finally said, "I can't do this. I'm not wired for this. I'm just, it's not. I'm not good at this." And he said, "Come on, let's try it again." I said, "No, too many dials and switches and shit that you have to pay attention to, and I'm not good with that."
Yeah.
I couldn't
Well,
trust
it's good
myself.
that you realized that and didn't do it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Sure.
All right, what's the next story?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you need
Get
your glasses,
your
Grandpa. You all
notes
right?
together.
Hang on. Heat camera at a tourist attraction spots a woman's breast cancer. This is actually pretty cool. A trip to a tourist attraction in Scotland turned out to be a life-changing moment for one woman after a thermal camera detected she had breast cancer.
Wow.
Bale Gill, which is a weird name for a woman, 41, was looking back over her images from her trip to Camera Obscura and World of Illusions in Edinburgh when she noticed a heat patch over her breast. After making an appointment with a doctor, Gill was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. But experts have warned Gill she was lucky and thermal imaging cameras are not effective in screening for the disease, but it actually picked it up in this instance. For the heat.
That's crazy. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know
And
that.
there's a picture of
Cancer
her.
gave off heat.
And you see it. Everything's green and blue, and then one spot on her breast assist is yellow and white. It's
Like it was a different.
like it's a different color. Yeah. tone
Temperature?
to her breast. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. I never even heard of that. Like
I
that
didn't
some sort
think
of tumor.
I didn't think cancer. Because I think I have tumors at all times because of my hypochondria. You probably do too. I don't know.
Oh, I do.
Do you deal with any of that, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why you guys there's a little bit of some kindredness.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's. I mean, it's stewing in there. There's something stewing in there.
I feel like there's cancer somewhere in here. There's free radicals, and they're just waiting to form.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you eat the wrong thing, and
Yes.
boom, it's just the trigger, and off it goes,
Yeah.
and it's gigantic, whatever, carcinoma, something.
I've been telling
inside you.
Tom this for years. It's in here. I just don't. It hasn't. I've mooshed it yet.
Hold on, Jim. Do you deal with Seth and Daniel? We've talked about this
I
a
think
lot
Seth
on the show.
might actually be worse than me.
They deal a lot with hypochondria.
I'm getting better lately, just because lately I'm just so tired of being tired of worrying about it. I'm just like, fuck
sick
it.
and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, I really am. Either that or maybe just lately I haven't had anything physically go different. So
Because
I'm
you
not
look.
freaking
you know what they say
You look a
when-
little
Well,
yellow.
it gets
today.
worse. It's going to get worse. I
Like-
got news for you. As you get older, that's all you start thinking about.
Right.
It's like, oh, what the fuck is that? You know, you get a little pain in your stomach, and then okay, well, it was bad zucchini or something. I mean, you
really don't like zucchini.
Oh, I can't stand it.
He said that earlier. He's like zucchini. Ugh.
It's zucchini and what's the other
Squash,
one?
the yellow squash. Oh yeah, not
It's disgusting.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
disgusting.
Some good zucchini.
Stuff is disgusting.
Well,
It's slimy. It's is it?
I like, but
You like it?
My great grandma used to make it for me with some marinara sauce and just like.
Is
big
that the same
zucchini.
one that would get mad that you shit in the pool?
She actually that's my great grandma. My grandma was the one that got mad at me for pooping in the pool.
Yeah.
My great grandma was the one scooping it out.
he has over 200 memories of shitting in his grandma's pool.
I have a lot of memories. No, I don't know about 200, but
Did you do it on purpose or was it?
I just remember it feeling like it was gonna come out and then feeling really good and was like, I'm just gonna do it because it feels good.
Maniac, Jim. Look at Jim's face. It's a maniac.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I mean, it feels good now still too. That's why I got the bidet.
But Jim, you don't go
That's
to.
the greatest damn invention.
See, yes.
Bidet's the
Oh,
best.
okay,
It is.
I don't know why they haven't taken off in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
I
best
want
thing.
one.
Whatever. I mean, you got
I asked for
a clean butt is a happy butt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question about
It's like
it.
showering, literally showering every time you go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
I mean,
know,
it's-
this is no bullshit. That's what I asked Andrea for Christmas this year.
Really?
Andrea asked me anything.
It's-
She's like, "What do you want for Christmas this year?" I want a bidet. That's what I want.
That's good for you.
How did you? I mean,
I went to Japan. And
Yeah.
saw it in Japan. I was like, why is this not a thing? And
You
went
got
back
the
home
heat air, right?
when I was
Like-
in Paris, I
that's
said I had asked my wife, "How do you operate this?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you supposed to do?" I said before. I said after. I said, "What do you? It's fantastic."
Yeah.
Well, you can do it. You can do it
you just-
before, and it stimulates and makes you go too.
It stimulates it?
It stimulates the butthole to
But you just
contract.
feel like you're walking around without a stinky butt. I mean, you're just,
Yeah,
like if you go to, after using that, if you go to the theater or something and you're scooting down the rows, at least you know that nobody's going, what the fuck, man? Get that,
Well, this goes to something that I started doing, like not to hijack, because I'd thrown it on here as something to talk about, but I mean, this goes perfectly into something I wanted to bring up, is that lately I've been reading a lot of articles about like my quality of sleep and why my quality of sleep is decreased and why it's not good. And I have started sleeping nude. And I sleep better. I sleep all the way through the night. I
What
stay
were you doing
cooler.
before?
I would just wear like boxers and like a tank top.
Oh, you wear a tank top?
But it was just too hot.
Choke you.
And so I've been sleeping nude, and I read all these articles about it that say it's just good for your genitals, it's good for your ass. But then I started, like, with my anxiety, my hypochondria, more my anxiety, I started thinking about, well, if I have a shit butt or a dirty butt, like, I don't want to put a dirty butt on my sheets. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, at least I had the boxers before that would keep my sheets clean. So now I use like a wipe, like a wet wipe.
A baby wipe.
A baby wipe.
baby
Yeah,
wipe,
to
which I have
clean
those too.
before I get in the sheets. But then I'm like, a bidet would be so much better.
Bidet's the best.
Yeah, I'm getting one so I can sleep nude. I'm going to
good.
complete the circuit, because I've like this whole week I've slept through every single night based on
You gotta
medical
lower
marijuana and and sleeping nude.
All right.
Yeah, lower the temperature. They say the colder it is, the better you're
It's
going to
good
sleep.
for you too. You burn calories.
I'm an ambient freak. I just, I pop those things. And
Jim,
I heard,
I
I heard
sleep-
that makes you horny though. Ambient.
What?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
My ex
Well, I'm
used to
not
call
taking
me,
enough.
My ex used to call me like randomly on Ambien. She's like, "Hey," and start saying some weird stuff. I'm like, "You're on Ambien, aren't you?" She's like, "Yeah," and I couldn't fall asleep, so I'm texting you. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" I knew it was like some horny stuff coming my way
Yeah,
when she did
I've
that.
I
It
couldn't
makes you
sleep.
horny.
I'm-
Remember that story about that lady who was on Ambien and then she went up to Walgreens and parked her car and then asked a homeless man to get in her car and then she fucked the homeless man and then remember it was a rape trial. This is like we talked about this before, and then she claimed that he raped her, and he's like, "No, I'm just the homeless guy standing by this red box machine." This horny lady pulls up and says, "I want to fuck you," and I fucked her. He's like, "It was," and then they had it on video.
Oh, good.
And then
God.
he
See?
ended up.
Camera saved the day.
But he ended up being okay because they were like, "No, we're looking at you. You're beckoning him in."
You're an insomniac?
Yeah.
I'm a classic insomniac.
Yeah, I'm always up at 3 a.m.
And then but I sleep like a baby now, for the most part. Every once in a while, it's like, okay, let's take another.
For me,
let's
it's
take
the
another.
medical
Yeah, yeah,
marijuana. I get
yeah,
that indica. They end the couch and make me sleepy. If I take one of those, it starts
It
to...
works?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's the best. We all have our cards here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
the
a-
greatest thing ever happened to Florida.
Do
At least
you have
happened to
problems
me.
sleeping?
And what's
not
the
after
strain?
weed.
What's the
The one that I have is it would be considered, I guess, like a blend, but it's an indica blend, which makes you tired.
From Certera, yeah, like
smoke it, edible? What do you
it's
do?
a
Edible,
pill.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally a little clear. It looks like a
Jim,
fish oil
Do
pill.
you get high or you just get sleepy?
You get
Oh,
high.
yeah.
You get real high.
Yeah,
Like
you-
super fucking balls high.
I started hallucinating.
It's awesome. Yeah,
I don't-
Jim,
I-
it's
I don't mess with
fantastic
it.
because it's you're not smoking or anything, but you pop the pill, and I'm sitting there doing my normal thing. I love QVC, and I'm starting to watch QVC, and then just my eyes start to get heavy, and I put the mask on, and I go right to bed.
Jim, have you seen all the dispensaries that have popped up?
No.
Like, it is.
You don't dabble
I
in
don't
that,
get
do
out
you?
of the house too much anymore.
I mean, we are.
We should do a show. Take Jim to the dispensary. dispensary.
I'm telling you, we might as well. I mean,
don't let them sucker you into it. Stay clean.
I mean, is it a clinic
edge.
or do you go in
No,
there? It's just like something you'd find in Denver.
It's a retail
well,
store.
it's like
Yeah.
Denver. I mean, they
It's like
sell
Denver.
bud now too, and like pre-rolled joints and all
I thought
that
they weren't
stuff.
allowed to do that.
No, it's all open now, and it's to the point where
Yeah.
you get your card, and then you can go buy as much as you want, and they're
Well,
dispensary in
as
every
much as
corner.
you're recommending.
Yeah, 17,000 milligrams every 7 months.
17.
That's a lot.
Motherfucker, I got 25,000 milligrams.
So
They-
you
they
can
said,
get a,
this guy's
can you get a
super
bag
crazy.
of weed?
You
can.
and some, and some dispensaries you can get a bag of actual
And it's
bud.
that government weed.
But-
so
but-
it's crazy good.
I don't even smoke it or vape it. I just take the pills and the edibles, like where it's all in. I mean, they don't do like the gummy bears and all the baby shit, like Colorado and stuff. They're like it's just pills or capsules.
I don't need
now.
a gummy worm. I don't need a sour patch. I don't need that bullshit. Give me a I'm an adult. Give me a pill.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I
And
mean?
it's
Like,
good.
I don't-
Jim, it is good quality.
It's-
Like, oh, it'll get you.
It'll dust you.
Yeah. And
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, if you're interested, you can
Well,
go
my doctor just informed us. I mean, he can now prescribe. I guess
Yeah.
you
Oh,
need Dr. King.
Yeah. No, Jim. I mean, you go there and be like, sometimes I can't go to sleep. Here we go, 17,000 milligrams. It doesn't matter.
Samantha and I
You're
went-
like, sometimes I feel pain. Here we go, 17,000 milligrams. It doesn't matter.
Samantha and I went last Saturday to we have a new doctor now. It's a woman, an Asian woman. And she specializes because these are doctors that their
Joint
specialty
acupuncture.
is different
They're
than
fringe.
what they.
Yeah.
It's very like my first medical marijuana doctor was a gynecologist, is Dr. Jack Rothman, great guy. And then
It's a money grab.
He was too far out, so then I went to Dr. Chung. Dr. Chung's too popular, so then I went to this new lady. This new lady specializes in penile and vaginal rejuvenation, and she is on the Sexual Congress of the World. She holds a chair on the Sexual Congress of the World. What
does that mean?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
gonna come, we're having
I
her
mean-
in. We're having her in here. She's going to come in here and talk on the show.
Rejuvenate really?
Yeah, she can make your penis younger, and she can make the vagina younger. And
By sticking into younger people, it gets younger.
get out of here. So that she just she's like, I need you. She's like, where's your pain? I said, my back and my knee. And she goes, I also see it's for anxiety. How's your?
It doesn't matter.
Shit,
Makes
this-
your penis look young. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. I feel like mine hasn't aged that much.
I just want it
it
to
has.
age along with the rest of my body. I don't want to, take everything off. So, fuck, I got a 15-year a penis that looks like I'm 15 years old
It's too
on
young.
a 72-year-old man.
Without the pubes.
It's smooth,
You
young
can't
penis.
You can't come out of the shower at the Y and people go, "Oh my God!"
Look how tight that.
Jim Phillips got a baby dick.
That old man balls are tight as shit.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Our balls age more than our penis.
Yeah,
our
yeah,
balls
yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Our penis doesn't age. Balls is.
My
balls
wife didn't
age.
know about that, by the way. Like
What, ball age?
You
Cut them in half. You count the
side
rings.
I was
like
telling
a tree.
I was telling my wife, I was like,
You count them.
it's just like women's breasts. Gravity will
Oh,
yeah.
slowly
Pulls them
sag
down.
them.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
always
like,
thought
really?
I always thought that was there's two things that Jim. There was one that you said that I still can't, even though you've told me you were bullshitting, I still can't get it out of my mind. I'm going over the Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine, going back to Flagler College, and I'm about to lose the signal from Real Radio, and it's in the afternoon, and Jim's on, and he's talking to the cast, and Jim says. He says, and you used to you always say these things, and then people would question it, and you go like, oh yeah, like that sort of thing. And he's like, you have a finite amount of orgasms
Yeah.
that you will eventually you'll run out of the feeling
In life?
in life.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim said,
No question about it.
yeah, and Jim said this, and I swear to God, it is burned in my skull, and now. Even though I've been told that's bullshit, I still believe that you have a finite amount of orgasms and that they will run out.
Ours around 14,000.
look at how concerned.
Amount of
Seth is.
milligrams.
If that's legit, now I have nothing to be panicked about. Mine are getting better lately.
Oh, that's how you know you're
It's
near
like
the.
a-
That's how you know you're at the
thing,
end.
and then it goes down.
No, that's
later.
how you know you're almost at the end.
I
Is when they get better.
have thought about this before. Like, is everybody's orgasm feeling the same? Like you get really high. You're like, do you see the same purple I do, bro? Does everybody feel the same?
No.
When it comes, like, do some people have a better feeling than others?
I think so. Yeah.
Some people never have them.
Yeah, that's a huge problem with ladies,
that
right? I
sucks.
mean, not so much with guys. And then you got those people in England.
Nothing's going to feel as good as the first one.
Yeah,
It's like,
I do remember.
holy shit.
I do remember. I liked it better too because I remember my first one. I actually do, and I was a kid, but nothing came out.
Yeah,
and that's
me
just
too.
better.
Nothing came out.
It's just better.
Yeah,
Just easier.
I thought when you got a
cleaner, easier.
vasectomy that would happen. I wonder.
You had a vasectomy. Butler isn't. You haven't. Did you have a? You have a vasectomy
years ago.
I think I'm next. I think I'm probably next
one,
year.
dude.
Yeah, I think next year I'm probably going to do it. The only thing that scares me. This is a fucked up thing to say. The only thing that does scare me is that I haven't seen my daughter off to college or whatever, and I don't want to cut things knowing that something might happen. I might need to make another kid to fill the void in my heart.
Well, you bank something. You bank.
That's true.
Dude,
Also, they can reverse it.
I'll donate my
I don't want to
sperm,
do the
too.
reversal. I think I'll bank. I think Jim's right. I think I go and I bank.
Keep it in my desk drawer.
Yeah, that reverse thing.
I'll bank it for you.
I know guys who got the reverse thing. You don't want to go there. They just slice you open like a
my
cheese
business
dog.
partner's got it. Reversal.
Yeah, you don't want any of that stuff.
It hurt more than I did. They put you under?
How did you know I was jacking off in your top drawer?
Nah,
Stinks
in there.
Didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, they now will put you under the same anesthesia they do when they take your wisdom teeth out, and I didn't know that was available. And then I heard other people after I got mine, they're like, "Oh yeah, I was put out," and then I woke up and I was like, "Shit, I wanted that." I was awake, and the guy's like, "You're gonna feel a little pinch," and it was more than a pinch. It was like,
"Oh really?"
Yeah! Like it hurt. Hey, fast.
Is it like a kick in the nuts feeling in the stomach?
No, it was like someone's cutting your balls off.
Well,
first
I'd rather have that.
they injected.
You guys are doing like a fucking who's on first.
Now it's fast.
What did it feel like? It felt like that? No, it felt like somebody's cut my balls off.
It's not that bad. And they told me that after I would have to sit for like 24 hours with peas on. Like I just went to the mall and was walking around.
Stretch it out.
They gave me some pain pills.
You want
It
to
was
start
fine.
shopping?
But my wife was
Turning
like,
into an old man.
I know. All right.
Last story. So far, so good.
Oh,
no,
There
it's
it
not
is.
bad. Nobody died, but it was a knockout. Ohio McDonald's customer hit in face with a blender thrown by an employee after a dispute. Oh, you saw the actual video? Yeah. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. And McDonald's customers hit in the face with a blender thrown by an employee after she went into the Ohio store to complain about an incorrect order. Brittany Price went through the fast food chain's drive-thru in Coleraine Township a few days ago. However, when she received her order, the cheeseburgers and Happy Meals was incorrect.
All right, here's the video. I'll put it up here so the Twitch folks can see it. There she is. She's throwing her food.
Yeah, that's the thing. She threw first. Boom!
And so,
and I know that walk after.
So what they did? They picked up a blender and threw it at her.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. But look how she stumbled. She definitely got a concussion because as she hit,
she's
she tried
throwing
to get
blender to the head. Boom! Out.
See ya.
Wait.
And those like industrial blenders that they have.
The Vitamix. I get the Vitamix. Those things are
The
badass.
Vitamix is no bullshit.
Oh, it's freaking.
You could kill somebody with that.
Oh yeah, it's
Heavy
probably
base.
25 pounds.
The thing is, that's a mental illness thing, right? When you start going so crazy at a fast food place that you're fighting with the employees, like
going in
no
there-
normal person is doing that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you're drunk or something. You're just being stupid. Good.
and you get to the point where you're screaming at the person. They don't want to work there. Like you're screaming because your food order's wrong, and then it escalates to the point where they're smashing you in the face with a blender.
Well, I
was
saw
like,
it.
what have you
Her eye
accomplished?
is completely swollen shut. Her lip is busted.
Oh, she'll sue McDonald's. Is crazy, man.
But you know what? Like,
But she threw for. She didn't throw first. Then I'd be.
I feel like I feel like there should be some
perfect
sort.
picture
It's
for
self-defense.
Yeah, you should
You
be
don't know.
allowed.
She's going to climb the counter.
Exactly.
And,
That's true. That's
throw a blender at her.
I throw a blender at everyone that walks into McDonald's.
French
anyway.
fries.
Fucking
You know what sucks? You know what sucks is that
You should be
like
going in there anyway. Disgusting.
Maisie
make something out of this.
Maisie doesn't get any fast food. Like I don't give her that. But if she does something good or something, occasionally and just obviously through television and just impressions, she wants McDonald's. She calls it Old McDonald's. So because they have the play place up here and they just remodeled it, I'm like, yeah, get up there, give her 4 chicken nuggets and a thing.
Be
Yeah,
a dad.
'cause
Don't take her there. Sorry.
Well, I take her there.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, probably so. So I take her there.
It's fine.
But the last time we were there, I don't think we'll ever go back because I saw a guy throw his food at the people. It's almost like it's a thing now.
Why are you going inside? Never go inside.
No, she wanted to play at the play place.
Although guilty
You've
pleasure-
never been inside and
a
let your
guilty
sons play at the
pleasure-
play place?
I've never been inside and
Wow.
eaten
Oh,
with my
I'm
sons at a McDonald's.
impressed. A
My
guilty
mom
pleasure
takes
is-
them. She's fine with it.
There we are.
I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'll go through the drive-thru. I get my son McDonald's. Like, I'm not a.
Why was he throwing food?
The
You
guy
don't
threw a-
see this in other places.
The guy
You
threw
know,
a
you go to all that-
cheeseburger because they got the order wrong, and I saw him throw the burger, and I'm like, this must be like does this happen daily?
I threw food once.
I was in the
every day.
Apple store.
Not
Okay,
gonna lie.
I'll
I
give
was
you another
19
one.
years old.
This is where I think people have lost their fucking minds. I was in the Apple store getting my MacBook repaired, and I picked it up. I signed for it, and a lady came in, and she just walks in, and she yells at this one of the geniuses, and throws her iPhone on the ground, and it shatters, and glass goes everywhere, and she storms out. I think I talked about this on the show before. And then I asked the guy, I go, what the hell was that about? And the guy was like, the guy that worked there, he's like, yeah, we get like maybe 5 or 6 of those a week.
No
Of people that throw their computers or throw their phone on the ground or throw it at them. And I'm like, this is in millennia. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, 5 or 6 a week. And I'm like, so people are like, it's different now, right? Is it different now?
People are
I mean,
entitled.
it's
as fuck.
I think it's
people are
different now.
entitled.
People just pissed off at one of the for
Why are we
various
so
reasons.
pissed?
People are just really angry.
Because we can't
people
control,
are looking for a fight.
We can't
Yeah.
control the world, so we're going to get mad at each other now.
Because we're not
Yes.
getting laid.
I feel.
Well, the people they feel powerless, and so you're going to do something where you feel that you have some kind
Sure.
of power. Whether
Over
it's in your
control.
car, you're throwing food, you're throwing phones, you're yelling and flipping people off. I mean, it's
crazy.
a way to exert some power.
Yeah.
It feels good.
also,
Sometimes it does, just to get that anger
Yeah,
out.
until you
know?
get hit with the blender.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I should have blocked.
It may have been, and I apologize if it's one of our BDMs, but I saw a post on Facebook, like the person was complaining about, they're like, I put an insurance claim, and those motherfuckers expected me to pay $500 of the first fee towards what of my claim. And I was like, that's a
how it works.
That's a
deductible.
deductible.
And then, like, he was mad, and I'm like, that's how it works, buddy.
My
Like,
dentist had the audacity to say I have holes in my teeth,
yeah.
and I don't brush them. Fuck you, dentist.
Yeah, it's you want an
Doesn't make
avenue
any-
to complain, and you don't know how the world works. It's like- and
It's
that's a bad
ignorance.
combination.
It's ignorance plus you can't control anything, and you smoosh it together, and then you get blender tossing.
All right. So Seth, thanks for the news. I appreciate
thank
it.
We know you got to get out of here. Anything to plug? How'd your Halloween?
Oh,
How'd
it
your,
went great. We had over 200 people come through.
Nice.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. And everyone that left, we heard nothing but great things. Thanks,
Nice.
guys, for coming through, by the way.
Any
I
BDMs
was out of
call
town.
you out in the goat outfit?
Yes, a couple of people said something like, what did they say? They were saying, mumbled something. I don't know how they knew it was me because I had a big goat head on and maybe because I was shirtless, I guess.
We did say Seth will be in the goat
goat
costume.
costume.
Oh, you did?
Shirtless, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
On
We
the
talked-
show.
We talked about it. I forgot.
Do you know what he did
Yeah,
in his
that's my
haunted
CT.
house at the jungle? He was a. What did you have? A satanic church or something?
Yeah, Satanic Church of Sethifer. As I call
Yeah,
it.
and
But
then
yeah, it's a
you were
Satanic
dressed
church.
like a demon.
Baphomet.
And then Baphomet, and then you had a nude girl on a
No,
table.
I had so I changed. It was my friend who's pretty much nude. He was shirtless with little things on, and
Oh, I thought it was a girl.
The girl is the one that slit his throat, and she was dressed in a corset. No, that's the 22-year-old that I was.
Yeah, like,
She was working
come
with-
play in my Halloween dollhouse.
I'm a baby.
So yeah, we had the haunted house. It went really good.
Okay.
Next year, I want to do it for 2 days instead of just one.
Yeah.
But
Sure,
so
Orlando
it's
can
good.
handle it.
I don't know if they
bro.
can, to be honest.
If they
So-
want to work at your gym,
JungleOrlando.com for the gym. They're karate, if you guys are more interested in the traditional aspect, that's karateoforlando.com. Follow me on Instagram at SilverbackSeth. And I'm competing. I don't know if you heard me or not. I'm competing in a tournament tomorrow.
no, really?
Is this
Can
a-
people go
Is
watch?
this where you go and
Yep.
beat up dads?
It's at the,
It's Jim.
No,
this is great.
It's not.
So
because this is
explain
different.
to
This
Jim
is
Phillips.
different.
Okay, so-
explain to Jim Phillips what you do
No,
and how you take advantage of fat dads
I'll,
that want to learn karate.
I'll explain the reality to Jim. So what Seth does, because he's not no longer a professional fighter. He retired, but he still likes the competition and wants to win.
It's in his blood. He can't get it out of there.
So
Yeah.
what he does,
I like to be dominant.
He joins these like semi-amateur jiu-jitsu competitions
Yeah.
where it's him and a bunch of other dads,
Like Weekend Warriors type.
Yeah, like Weekend Warriors. That so like the dad comes up dressed in his gi, and his family's there. His kids are like, Dad's been practicing.
the kids are
and
like,
then-
Dad just had enough time to leave his managing of the Amscot to change into his gi and get out there. Oh, his opponent, is that the guy that knocked out Kimbo Slice?
So the dad's like, oh, like he's a probably a doughy dad doing jujitsu on the weekends, and then Seth comes up ripped and then beats the shit out of the dad in front of the
and then he wins these. He gets these trophies.
I get a trophy.
Yeah, and then he goes on Instagram acting it's some fucking victory. He's beating up a bunch of fat dads.
Whatever. Their levels are just the same as me. I just had a little more level.
So you're professionals.
Yeah,
Seth.
well, I get
you're
it
ripped.
professionally, but it's still by
all
time.
you do is work out. These dads are they're like insurance guys, and on the weekend do jujitsu, and you're beating the shit out of them.
Oh, they probably love it though.
Well, they do come up to me.
That's why I got the shit. I got my shit knocked out of me, but.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe
No, a couple has come up to me and said that. They're like, I was nervous, but you're a great guy. Thank you. That meant a lot to me to
It's like
grapple
Fight
with
Club.
you. So it was cool afterwards.
Yeah.
Some of them
Make him
did
tap
that.
out.
So you're beating up
Their kids-
Meatloaf because
their-
he's got big titties.
Their
Fight
kids,
Club.
their kids were crying, but
Oh.
Didn't
but
you-
this one is called a traditional karate tournament. So I haven't competed in anything like this in like 20 plus years. So it's like point sparring. So it's like these guys are gonna be really fast, and I gotta like try to keep
How
up.
fast? Seth, you're...
They're fast, man. I'm telling you, they're fast.
Oh, can I bet on it? Can I go
I
there?
don't know. It's on ESPN. Wide World of Sport. I think it's on ESPN.
Oh, we didn't
Really?
watch it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What time?
I have no. Mine goes on Saturday morning at like 9 in the morning.
Will it be
starts.
live on
What's
there?
it called?
I think it's live. It's called the International Martial Arts Fest on ESPN. So it's either ESPN 2 or one
Do
of
they
those.
do they check to see if you actually know what you're doing? Because
Yeah,
it'd be
well,
funny if I just showed up within the competition, signed myself
I
in.
don't know. They didn't check. They knew who. When I called, they're like, "Oh, Seth, yeah, it'd be great to have." They knew who I was, so I don't know if they just
Where are they
didn't
doing
check.
this?
At ESPN, Wide World of Sports
Oh,
and Disney.
okay.
Yeah, at Disney.
So I'm going to a hotel tonight. Stay there because I don't have to drive early in the morning.
You bringing your girlfriend?
No, I'm solo. I need when it's competition.
Oh, you need to
I
concentrate.
don't need any.
Oh,
any
you
bringing your
distractions.
dog?
No, I have my roommate looking after me.
Do
Or
you-
my mother-in-law suite I rented.
Do you even hype yourself up anymore for the fight?
Yeah, I'm nervous actually for this one because I haven't done this in a while. So.
Do you know?
Yeah, but
do-
when you beat up the dads, I mean, when you see them, say, "Oh Jesus!"
But that's even more
15
nerve-wracking.
seconds. You give them you give them a minute to mess around.
Do you sweep
or
the
you
leg?
just go out there and you boom,
This
they're
one I
out.
can sweep the leg.
Yeah, sweep the leg.
do you like?
I'm more
you
nervous
pin them and
because-
then spit the loogie and suck
And
it
suck
back
it
up. Traditional bully.
No, but I do.
Maybe you let them show off to their kids for a little bit.
I do grab onto
Can
body
they get you in a
parts that I'm not
headlock or
supposed to.
something, give you a noogie, and then you just, okay,
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
of you. Yeah,
I
out
do
you
grab
go.
on some fat boobies sometimes. Like if I'm reaching for like an arm, I grab onto like his boobs and pull that down instead, just to mess with him.
Pull the old
I
man.
pull old man boobs. I've done that a couple of times as on purpose just to do it.
That's not right. It's like, ow!
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Right?
It's fucked up to pull an old man's titties.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
But it was acting like I was grabbing for the collar, to pull it down. But I grab here instead and pull.
It's the
on
same
him.
move I try to pull on my wife. I'm like, oh, you got something in your ear. And then yeah.
All right, so if you want to head out to the wide world of sports and see
I want
Seth
some
pull
old
some
man
old-
titty grab.
No, I
Old
won't titty
dad
grab. You're
sits
not allowed to
out.
grab here. Just spar. Just spar. And maybe some kata too. I don't know. The forms I'm thinking about doing. Too,
You
as
know
well.
those really well, right?
Yes, very
yeah.
well.
Yeah, because you teach those.
Yeah.
KarateofOrlando.com.
KarateofOrlando.com.
There you go.
Yes,
All right, here we'll play. So we'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
I want to say I had a blast. It was very nice seeing you again. I had a blast. Thank
Fun.
you for agreeing with me on a lot of things.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN. Those are your numbers to call, and show at tomanddan.com if you want to leave us a voicemail message. We'll be right back.
I like
Yeah,
that. That's
that's
where I
what-
want to be
that's-
now.
That is where you want to be now.
That's what old men do. You sit in a chair and you start bitching about, at what you see on the TV. You're bitching about everything.
Do you still get fired up about all the political
Oh,
situations
sure.
you watch?
Of course. Yeah. Because but that's the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I don't miss the grind. I miss sometimes some of the people I knew and just going to the environment and going to work, just
The
going
routine.
someplace.
Yeah.
But the grind of what am I going to do for 4 hours on the air, I don't miss that at all.
Yeah. Do you?
It's hard.
It's not. People think, oh, that's easy. I talk. I could do that. Yeah, try it. Yeah, try it sometime.
It's mentally
Yeah.
exhausting.
It is.
Because you're not just talking like you normally would in any sort of conversation. You're presenting this conversation to an
Other
audience.
people to listen to.
Yeah. In a way
Has
that
to be entertaining.
Yeah, and it's fucking like mentally it's exhausting. But the I was gonna ask you about like now. Have you settled into like a routine Monday through Friday? Like I always wonder like when you retire,
of course.
do like Monday through Friday mean anything different than Saturday and Sunday? Like I imagine when you're not working, the weekdays are different than the weekends.
I'm pretty good at sitting on my ass and doing nothing. I mean, people think that I'm always peripatetic and I'm here and I'm there. No, I get up I get up about 6, then I meditate, and then I exercise. I'm rowing now.
That's
believe it
good
or
though.
not. And
Just
then
like
I come
the guy
home.
just like the Dutch man that stole those children and put them in the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
He invented that wooden rowing machine. Yeah.
But I'm on the lake and I do my thing.
Oh,
and
you're actually on.
Oh, yeah.
boat
Yeah.
rowing, not a machine.
No.
This is awesome. I thought you were like in a rowing machine and you're.
Now we got to back up a little bit. So what you said? You just go down. You walk down to the lake and get in a canoe, or like what are you running?
Get in a rowboat, and it's got you know what a scull is.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen them. It's kind of in between that and a regular rowboat. It's got a sliding seat, and it's great exercise.
That's
the
dope.
problem is I get home, and do about 3 miles. It takes about an hour.
That's a lot of work.
It's great, but then you get home and you're chowing down on your you just kill the exercise because all of a sudden you're 5,000, 8,000 calories, spaghetti and pasta, cupcakes and Fritos and everything that's bad for you because you're just trying to fuel your body.
Yeah.
So, but.
Do you encounter, because I could imagine what lake it is, and they let a lot of riffraff on there, and the reason I know that is because I am the riffraff that goes in. It has one public boat ramp. I don't know. I don't want to blow up your rowing
It's Lake
spot.
Fairview. People row there all the time.
Oh yeah. Do they let power boats and stuff? Yeah.
Well,
if they get too close to you, will swamp your boat.
No, people are really pretty good because because I think Lake Brantley and Edgewater and schools have their racing shells out there. Their crew. So they're people are pretty good about it.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the hobbies that we've mentioned before. And I noticed that you
brought one. I had to request it.
Yeah. And so what are we looking at right here?
That's a crow call.
Okay.
Because I go outside in a driveway and there's a big tall tree and crows that would show up at the top. And they give you that bird look, which is they and I said, what the fuck is that? Can I swear?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that all about? And I said, okay. So I read about crows because, and then you find out more about it. And then you read that, okay, they'll bring you trinkets. And I said, that's it, man. I'm going to get to the point where these birds are going to bring me something. When I first started off, they'd fly off. They'd leave. And I said, what the hell?
What were you saying? Fuck you.
Yeah, it must have been, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But then I started, you got to leave them food. You got to leave them something. They won't bring you anything unless you give them something.
All right.
But what was happening, I don't make a long story short, the squirrels would get to the food, so you got to come up with a system so the squirrels can't get to the food. You leave them cherries or corn or something, and eventually they started dropping stuff.
So you brought
look at this.
These are actually things that the crows brought
treasures.
Yeah, crow trinkets.
Yeah.
Boy, they're stupid.
We got a ribbon. We got a pin cap.
Those are dumb as fuck.
What's the white
But
thing?
in the crow world, that might mean something.
Yeah. We got like a pin cap, a string, what appears to be a piece of ribbon, a bottle cap.
So it's trash.
It is. It's trash.
Yeah, but they might
They're
use
helping
it.
clean up the earth.
They might use it in their nest. It might be
I'm
a form
sure,
of currency. I don't know. I don't know what
They
crows
stay
do.
together as a group.
Yeah, murder.
They don't leave. Yeah, murder of crows. They from birth till death, they're always in a
crazy.
murder in a group of crows. They travel in groups.
And also, won't they
I'm gonna
recognize
put this on the camera
like
so people can see.
they can tell the difference between one human and another? Like I've heard that before too. Like a crow will remember your face. And
I guess.
And then there's something where if you do something bad to a crow or whatever, like it can actually differentiate your like you with some other human, which you would think there would be no way, but like crows are smart.
I guess, but they leave stuff.
And do you can you catch one and you can domesticate it?
I know people hunt them out in the Midwest. There's something about, I guess, because they interfere with crops or eat seeds and stuff like that, so they'll shoot them.
Okay,
which is, I don't want to shoot anything.
Could you have I know people have pigeons,
Like a pet crow?
Yeah. Could you have a pet crow, or are they too wild?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a bad omen. I think. Right?
It's usually a sign of something, in movies or whatever. Crows,
of course.
Except the movie The Crow. It was a good thing because he was like a vengeful clown karate man.
Unless you're
right, that's what he was. He was a clown.
Didn't end well for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the real Brandon Lee, it didn't end well for him. But The Crow, didn't they reprise that later with another Crowman?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done several iterations of that.
Yeah, I remember when that first came out, everybody was like, "This is the greatest movie in the world," and then it's kind of faded away.
Jim, I want to.
Who said that was the greatest movie in the world?
Well, at the time, like action movies, like when I was younger. I don't know how old I was when I saw it.
It was only hot because Brandon Lee died.
90s, right?
That was the only reason.
You think so?
And it had a pretty killer soundtrack, but outside of that, it was grunge era crap.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Jim, what is Sniper's Alley? Because you mentioned it, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm working with certain demographics, so your audience is a lot younger than I am. Sniper's Alley essentially is when you get to be a particular age, people who you know start passing. Wendy Chioji just passed away.
Sad.
And that's Sniper's Alley. When you find yourself, the saying is, when you find yourself in Sniper's Alley, you find yourself in kind of at an age or in a position where you're hoping that the sniper isn't looking at you, because people I'm going to be 72. Can you believe it? I can't.
I know.
I can't believe
Dude.
it. I just can't. I can't comprehend the fact that I'm going to be 72.
You look great, though, Jim.
I do. Look
You
pretty
don't,
good.
you don't look
It's all the
72.
facial.
It's a facial.
Yeah.
It's all the facial.
It's a
Rowing.
facial.
Yeah. The rowing and the
Yeah.
meditation.
But still, I mean, all of a sudden you're always reading obituaries now. I mean, it's just the standard getting old. I hate it. I can't stand getting old.
Samantha,
I hate it.
What was your quote that you've been saying lately?
Oh, time is the devourer of all things.
Yeah, there's no running from it, and it seems like it goes faster and faster.
It does.
Even I'm on only
They
37.
also say what? It's the only commodity you can't make more of, or
I swear to God, I was like, we just did the Friday free show
It
yesterday. Like it just goes, and then my kids, I'm reminding how fast it goes. I'm looking at them grow, and I'm like, what the hell? You were just a baby. Now what?
I hate the cliche, but I mean, it's
It is.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
It does go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster.
So how do you deal with that? Like, because that's
Meditation.
You just have to,
Like-
right? I mean,
like-
you don't. You
The
can't.
worst part for me, I can't speak for everybody. The worst part for me is as soon as I wake up in the morning, I start. You start thinking about your own mortality, so to speak, and what you have to do is you got to get going. You got to expand your mind. So, and that's essentially what's happening when you wake up in the morning. You go from an unconscious state to a conscious state, or a semi-conscious state to a conscious state. You're expanding your mind, so your mind gets filled full of stuff, and that's how you kind of divert the attention from what we all know is true.
Yes, and
I hate to be Debbie Downer, but
it's true.
I think about this all the time too, but I do it the opposite. Like when I get into bed and I'm about to go to sleep, I feel like it's the only time that I can stop time is when I go to sleep, and I get really fucked up high, and then I lay there and I close my eyes and I just wish to never wake up. I don't know. I don't want to kill myself or anything.
And then you go, okay, how do you want it to come to an end? Do you want to bam like that, or do you want to? I want enough time to say goodbye to everybody.
Rapid fire lightning strike. That's
I
what
mean,
I want.
the only person in my life is my wife. She knows that I love her, so if it goes
right
quickly,
You're good.
that's fine with me.
Yeah.
What if, Jim, they come up with a technology? Because I know some of these tech billionaires and stuff are trying to research ways to download your consciousness into computers and things like to extend your life as we know it. Because that's the one thing that all these guys can't buy is more time. And but they want to how can I live forever? Essentially.
Well, then you're a vampire.
Yeah.
And the vampires are the saddest, if you want to call them, people on the planet because they've had everything. All the riches, all the knowledge, everything. They know everything. They've had everything to experience. This is why what a life that would be.
Yeah. If you live forever, they say it'll be the most miserable thing in the world because your
You ever
life...
see a happy vampire?
I
mean, really.
They're pretty horny.
They're miserable.
Well, what else do you have?
Yeah.
If you're going to kill time because you can't be, killed or whatever, then the only thing you have left to do is have sex, I guess.
It's almost the same.
There's nothing else in life to experience once you're a vampire.
It's the same analogy of if you had unlimited money, then it's almost a curse because then nothing's valuable to you. Like if you could buy anything you want,
we've talked about
that
before.
Who cares?
With the kids that I knew that were gifted everything, that really were instilled no sense of value, those are the ones that typically aren't with me anymore, are doing really bad things right now, or in jail. It didn't go well for them, the rich kids.
Oh, this is a happy program.
My God, what happened to Fun Friday?
Happy.
No joke Fridays.
Okay.
Now, not to keep talking about death, but I'm curious.
Do it. Double down on death.
We were at Greenwood Cemetery and we were doing our Halloween special.
Yes.
They will air Halloween night, and we talked to Don Price about how things have changed in that industry and how less people are even getting buried, and less people are getting less
people getting married, less people getting buried.
It was also a thing in Daniel's parents, and I remember my grandma talking about a lot is they would get their
we have a plot,
their cemetery plot,
right?
And that was part of your adult responsibility of organization or
and it
planning.
was commonplace to talk about it. We'd be eating fucking sloppy joes, and my dad's like, "Well, I don't think I want to be buried in Martinsville. I think I want to be buried in DeLand." And my mom's like, "No. We have those plots," and I'm just sitting there eating my fucking sloppy joe, that. You don't get that now. I would.
Seems like no one
first of all,
cares.
I don't want to talk about that because I'm weird like that. It would make me sad.
Now they have all these life experiences and celebrations, and I hate that stuff. I think funerals you ought to be crying and miserable. That's how you because all of a sudden then it's just make believe. Well, the person's not really gone; he's still with us, and that's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. This is relatively new. Let's celebrate his life. No, I don't want you. You don't need to celebrate anything. I want you to be absolutely miserable and sad.
We'll never have him.
Cry.
His brain turned off. He's not somewhere better. It's nothing.
And I'm gonna have to face the same thing in the future. That's what.
And you're crying. Even his crows showed up
Yeah,
to pay their respects. They're bringing fucking bottle caps and laying them in the
Vikings
casket.
they didn't have a life celebration. They put you on a ship. And
fired an arrow out.
Yeah, set it on fire Why?
By the way, Jim, we've talked about that a lot on the show.
I like that
the
too.
Viking burial, because it takes a lot to totally cremate a body. Just some hay on a ship isn't going to do the
You're
job.
gonna need some accelerant on there.
It's only going to burn whatever half was under the hay, and the rest is going to wash ashore.
Yeah,
now the theory is they didn't set it out to sea. Now they just dug a big hole and put the ship in the hole,
and then
along with the dogs and the horses and the ornaments and the shields and the swords and everything. Yeah. And then I guess it's easier because then you just drop it in and poof.
Yeah, you're gonna have to because Tom
crap. Haul it back.
Yeah, Tom brought up an
not on fire.
Point.
Bring it back in.
You shoot the fucking arrow, zink, and it goes out, and then it lands. If I'm laying there, and then it stabs me right in. Let's say you shoot 5 flaming arrows, and 2 of them go into my calves, and then 1 misses, and then the other 2 go into my chest.
Yeah.
Well, you would hate to think that it would burn up and burn my face and hair and burn all the way down, and then for my thighs, it burns from about my knee down to my feet, and then all that's left is my cock and balls, and then that just floats down the river so my children can see it. It's just, what's that? That's your dead dad's fucking genitals laying there on the beach.
So
not a good thing to look at.
Have you ever? Do you have any plan of what you want to do? No. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Because why even have a plan? It seems like the
up to
worst
you.
thing
I
to
think
plan
the only
for.
reason why is because when you pass, whether it's your significant other, or your kids, or
Right.
your parents, or whatever, like they want to know what to do. You know what I mean? Because when my dad died, I was like, I don't know what the hell to do.
what
with
do
this
I
guy.
care?
The difficult part is, I tell my wife Catherine, just push me into the pool with the cinder block around my. I told my doctor that. Just push me.
She's going for a nice
I got a new
swim.
I don't know if I told you guys this story. I was looking for a new doctor, so I sit down with this new doctor, my wife and I said, I don't know, the time comes, I'm in miserable pain and this and that. I just tell my wife, just push me into the pool with a cinder block around my ankle. He said, oh no, there are better ways of doing that. You get the car and you put the hose on. This is my doctor. This is my doctor. He said, oh, you put it in there. And I said, you're hired.
Yeah.
You're my doctor.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah, he was
Gives it to
great.
you straight.
And his straight face.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Yeah.
no, there's a better way of doing it.
Yeah, like,
I like that.
maybe
Okay.
struggling at the bottom of your pool.
Yeah, but I feel like I would trust this guy now because he's giving it to me straight.
Then your pool guy comes. He's like, "Fuck!
Yeah, that's another $100.
I can't skim that out of there."
Let's talk about tattoos because
Yeah.
you got new.
I
I saw.
the used your guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got new tattoos.
And they're just affirmations, that something just comes along.
Are you starting to get the itch? Because so does Butler. Butler's been. But
He can't
Butler.
stop.
Well, I'm not the itch for a sleeve. I'm not.
Your
I'm not,
tattoos mean something to you, though.
They
like,
do.
They're not nerd tattoos, right?
No, I mean,
because Butler's been getting a whole slew. He's got Ewoks on his back, and he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
Princess
It's
Leia on his
embarrassing.
ass cheeks, and he's got Jabba
No,
the
he's got
Hutt.
Jar Jar Stinks on
Yeah,
his butthole.
he's got what? Show Jim
Let me
what
see,
you
what
have.
you got?
Yeah, he's been
It's-
going
It's
crazy.
embarrassing, Jim.
It's nerd tattoos, Jim.
see.
He's a big Star
It's
Wars
all Star
guy.
Wars
I
crap.
I thought I hired a non-nerd.
Damn nation, son.
Yeah, look at that. Look,
Yeah,
he's
all
got the
right.
Death
Okay.
Star, and he's got Wu-Tang Clan.
Now, do they stay that, or they color them in? What are they going to do?
He wants the black
I'm gonna
and
keep them
whites,
black.
yeah.
I'm not gonna go
Are you?
color. Yeah.
Yeah, mine are just affirmations, and I'm kind of at the point I'm thinking about. I know something's going to come up, and I'll run down there to the guys that you recommended.
yeah,
and,
awesome.
$150 later, boom, you come
Yeah,
out.
they look
my
good,
wife,
though. They're cool.
Yeah, my wife doesn't have any.
Does she doesn't care what you do.
No,
I mean,
she said, "Your body, you do whatever you want," and she's not turned off by it.
right,
I'm
which is good.
I hope you get so into it you become the
enigma.
the puzzle pieces.
Puzzle pieces everywhere, all over your
Split your
face.
tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lizard man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that freaks some people out, right?
Yeah. And it's
God, he retired, and look at him now.
yeah, I know. All right, let's take a quick break.
My wife just came in. What are you doing here?
Uh-oh.
Am I in trouble? What did I do? What do you?
I haven't seen your wife in ages.
I know. So what, you just because we have a superstar in here, you have to come in. No, she'll never pop by, but Jim Phillips stops by, and then you suddenly have to come by and get a hug or something. Yeah, just see the crow stuff. Okay, that's good. We'll take a little break.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see what music I got. This is good. You remember the band Paramore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their original drummer, they were a brother. The guitarist and the brother, and the drummer were brothers, rather. And they decided to leave the band. I want to say like in 07, 08, something maybe 09, because they were. I think they were weirded out by Haley Williams, the singer. She's kind of like the only piece that I feel like the record company wanted.
They definitely made her the main deal.
And they made her like the main deal. But he's actually back with Paramore. I didn't know that. I don't think his brother is, but they're still playing together. But he has his own band called Half Noise. And man, this is really cool because this is like funky. And you would never expect that what was the drummer of Paramore, like this guy now has like this funky band called Half Noise. The name of the song you're going to hear is called Boogie Juice. It's off of their Natural Disguise album. We'll be back with more. A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN if you have a question for Jim, or show@tomanddan.com for emails. Taking up a new hobby, my good sir.
I'm trying to learn how to play the banjo.
Yeah, I know how to play.
Do you know how to play? I mean, do you pick or do you claw hammer? Yeah, you're picking. The claw hammer is just strumming down.
You could do that.
the problem I've always, this is why I have so many hobbies. I just, I get to that point where I'm saying, I'm tired of this. And you know more. Do you play a musical instrument?
No, I do not. I know how to play the bass a little bit, and
But
I played in a goof band.
is it just practice?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
It is.
fairly coordinated.
Did you buy a banjo? Do you have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's,
I had
Yeah,
it. What brand? Deering?
It's Deering.
Deering. He's buying the right stuff. Deering is probably my favorite.
so when you
banjo
started, what did you
manufacturer.
start with? Drums?
I started. My first instrument was the accordion. Believe
All right,
it or not.
whatever, the accordion.
Then the flute, and then drums.
But you became somewhat proficient.
On the accordion, I could play Lady of Spain.
But I mean, how long did it? Like anything else, I want
6 months?
instant
No.
satisfaction.
No, it was like 6 months of playing, because being able to go in and out with the accordion, because that's what, that's the billows. It gives it the air that needs it, to push a sound out, and then hold down the keys that are full chords, and then to dial the melody in with your right hand is, it's kind of difficult.
So how long did you practice? A day? Hour?
30 minutes or so. But Mom was a music teacher, so she was a little more regimented about, like, if you want to learn it, you got to practice it,
So
flute I would do an hour a day.
I think I can do it. My concern is that I don't stick to it. That I'll read a plateau
Well, what's the
or
end
something.
goal? Are you going to play in a bluegrass band?
No, I just want to be
or,
able to play. I wasn't brought up in that environment. My parents didn't play musical instruments. They had no training in
Sure.
that. And later in life, it's always something that I wanted to be able to accomplish, like anything else I've done in my life.
I hope the
Banjo's hard, though. You picked a hard one.
Yeah.
I hope the
Banjo's
end goal
hard.
is for you to play banjo on your porch and crows to bring you all the garbage and your rich neighbors to peek out their windows and be like, fuck!
My wife is not crazy about it.
Well,
She's not-
banjo.
The crazy old man.
because my wife has that, all right, because I keep telling her, well, now I'm in tune with my people, because I say, my people came from Appalachia and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and she can't stand that clodhopper shit kicking type, down in the holler type stuff.
yeah.
She does. She's
Doing some clogging.
yeah. Oh my God Almighty! If I said, "Geez, I think I'll take some clogging lessons." I think
Jim, did your wife get annoyed by any of your hobbies? Because my wife hates everything that I do. Literally everything.
no, she
Everything that I like, she hates.
I think she likes the idea that I'm interested in things. But she's not. She wasn't crazy over the banjo idea. Because
Well, it's an
she does-
aggressive instrument. It's harsh.
if I
like-
say, "Hey, I think I'll pick up the cello," I think she'd be a lot. She'd dig on that.
Easier to
Because
listen
that's
to.
just the way.
Well, Yo-Yo Ma, cello is a far more, it's a more mellow and enjoyable sound.
It's
The
more
banjo-
refined.
It is, yeah.
It's just a little. That's her. That's the way she
Or-
is. That's the way that she's wired.
And the banjo, I believe, is a traditional African instrument. I
It
believe.
is.
Yeah, I mean,
comes from Africa.
yeah, I think if you deep dive into that, that's one of the oldest American instruments you can have.
The problem is when you hear the cello, you're like, oh, I'm in a jewelry commercial. And then you hear the banjo, you're like, oh, gonna get butt fucked.
Yeah.
Because of goddamn stigma
There is a
with
butt
the
fuck.
banjo.
Well, that's the
Butt
stigma.
fuck
The
stigma.
goddamn deliverance.
I know.
It's like,
It never, man, what that has done for the banjo industry, equated it with butt fucking. Literally, that one movie.
I just watched that this year.
That's the first thing I learned to play on
and
my
that
banjo.
kid, in the beginning, who was strumming the, he wasn't even playing the banjo. They actually put arms, somebody who knew how to play the banjo,
Sure.
up.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, they picked him out of an elementary school because he looked a little bit,
He's a little
Yeah.
odd.
a little
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah.
Or a little, maybe
like,
maybe on the
"Ah!"
spectrum, like the only thing he knows how to do is pick lice off his head and play the banjo.
Give me that one, the one eating grass.
But they did. That's a true story. They had somebody who knew how to play the banjo come up,
And play.
and play.
I'd like to interview that person. I had to put my arms through a
My
small
arm-
boy's
You
sleeve.
recognize these arms? These are special needs
The
deliverance
sheriff,
arms.
the sheriff in that movie Deliverance
Yeah.
was James Dickey, who wrote the story. He wrote the
Oh,
book.
wow. Okay.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, apparently they punched him, or he punched a bunch of people out in the cast.
Really?
Oh yeah, he got in
Whoa.
fistfights, I think, with Burt Reynolds, and I think Burt Reynolds cleaned his clock. He was a big, imposing, booze hound who wrote this great novel that was turned into an iconic movie.
I'll be
but
honest,
he was a real pain in the ass on the set.
I did not like that movie.
Didn't like it?
I thought it was boring.
Did you really?
But see, I had not seen it before, and
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
wonder if it was great for the time, but maybe it doesn't hold up.
Who's the chubbier guy that gets butt fucked?
Oh, that's Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty.
The problem is, like, if you watch
actor,
older
though, my
movies,
Dick Tracy gets butt fucked?
That's Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Yeah, different Beatty.
but older movies had a slower pace
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
because,
I mean, half the
we're
fucking
ADD
movie
now.
Half the fucking movie is them yelling each other's names out.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well,
Looking for each other, yeah.
The problem is nowadays you could never do anything like that because everybody's ADD and everybody wants
Yeah.
now,
absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe
So-
it was great back then, but me watching it for the first time, I was just like, I don't get it. I
Watch-
don't get why this is such a great movie.
If you watch like Lawrence of Arabia, like any super classic, that's
There's no narrative
Yeah,
to
yeah.
movies anymore.
Yeah, it's
It's just it's a flash, it's a car chase, it's an explosion, a shooting, a this, a
Superhero,
that.
yeah.
And you're absolutely right. They want it fast, they want it quick, and move on to the next scene. There's no there's no long form movie anymore.
Yeah.
We have to
And
think about it. Or,
of course, you want giant explosion superheroes to sell to the global market. You'd be like, this will
Right.
never work in China because that's all that matters. It's all money. Do you want to do some voicemails? and
Yeah.
emails?
You want to do that? Little,
here we
little-
go.
Little mail on mail. Here we go. It's
If
mail
you
on
thought
mail.
I'll answer
Seth was
anything.
bad.
Hey guys, thanks for calling 1-800-HOT-DICK, the place to find real action with real men. To make it even better, we've got new low prices. So low, we're practically giving it away free.
If you are a man seeking a woman, press 1. If you are a woman seeking a man, press 2. If you are a man seeking a man, press 3.
Mail on mail.
Mail on Mail brought to you by Certera, Certera.com. They are our official medical marijuana dispensary.
Theragels are back, baby.
I've gotten embarrassed of every intro I've played in front of Jim Phillips.
I know, me too.
This bit is called Mail on Mail, and I thought it would be funny to call a gay sex line and record it as the intro, and just watching everybody's expression. I find it only funny. It's only funny to me.
I've heard it all.
Yeah. So go to Certera.com, and if you want your medical marijuana license, just go to their their physician recommendation on their website, and
Super duper easy.
And you can get it fairly quickly nowadays. And
within a week.
Join the club.
Yeah. We
Usually
all do
within
it.
a week. Yeah.
Cool kids are doing it.
So, all right, what do you want first? Voicemail?
Let's
or
go
email?
emails because I printed out some new ones for
Okay.
Samantha.
The subject for this one is snubbed again. Hey, Dan, I listened to the part of your show when you were talking about your 7-Eleven ladies. You don't talk to your mailman every day? Weekly? I'm a T6, meaning I cover the route for 5 carriers on their day off because we still deliver 6 days a week. I talk to lots of people on each route, some at business, some at homes, but almost never at Tom's house because he runs inside when he sees me coming. Love the show, still listening during my commute on my motorcycle. Tom's other mailman.
So he's snubbing Tom, not me. He started
Right.
talking
well,
to me.
He's asking because he said, you talked about how you're very friendly with your
I'm
7-Eleven
a regular
ladies.
at the 7-Eleven on Corinne, right up here.
Yeah,
So do you talk to your mailman
and
or your garbage man?
I never
or-
see him because
okay.
my mail goes to like a box away from my townhome. But my 7-Eleven ladies, like, I love them. Like, I go in there, I know their names. Like, I'm a regular there. I'm not a regular anywhere else. Well, maybe Dolphin Bar. Maybe, what is that called? Hideaway?
Yes.
Yeah, Hideaway Bar. They know me. But those two places are about it. You know, but it's kind of cool. I kind of felt like I'd become an adult because I'm a regular. You know,
Right.
because I think that's an older guy's thing, and I actually take great pride in the fact that my 7-Eleven ladies, we greet each other.
That's
and
the 7-Eleven across from the Yang store.
No.
On Corinne?
The one at Corinne is across from like Red Light, or Park Ave CDs, or P is for Pie.
Yeah.
It's right next to the little dog grooming shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's across from the Yang store.
All right, what's the Yang store?
It's the...
What is that? Don't do that with your eyes.
What's happening?
This is the internet, but we still have things. The internet will get you, Jim. Don't do the eyes.
Do it.
I refer to it as the Yang store. That's all.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Hey, if Jim does it, we all can do it.
Look,
I don't think.
Get in here. Seth is
Sorry.
big old rating
if Mickey Rooney can do it in Breakfast at Tiffany's, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the
exactly.
movie?
It's fine.
Exactly.
And he was the landlord.
He was
the most
terrible.
racist thing you've ever seen. You'll need to pay rent. You'll pay rent.
Here's the thing. This guy.
Don't do that.
This
Sorry.
guy. He needs to email my wife because literally I want to talk to everybody and tell them my stories, and my wife constantly tells me like, don't talk to that guy, you're wasting his time. So I see the mailman, I know he's a listener.
Well, he says you run from him.
No, but my wife is like, because I'll sit there and tell him a story, and then my wife's like, he's trying to work. It's the same thing with people that will do work over my house. I stand behind them and I tell them stories.
Well, pause for 1 second. Jim, where do you stand if somebody comes to your house to work? Let's say they're doing some
repairs,
a little
yeah.
carpentry.
Yeah.
Do you?
But do you
do like
listener.
Tom does and hover over their shoulder?
No.
It's so uncomfortable, right?
But what if you know they were a listener? Are they a fan of yours?
Well, that probably makes it worse.
No. I mean, it's hi, nice to meet you, and then I don't want to be anywhere near them.
I
don't want to interfere with them.
Yeah, me neither. I do this move. I usually go, hey, if you need me, I'll be upstairs.
That's
I'll be riding the
exactly
Peloton.
what I do. Just knock, yell, whatever you want to do.
See, I'm convinced they love it, and they're like, Tom talked to me for an hour straight and told me stories.
You're wrong. They hate it.
The mailman wants me to talk to him, and my wife's like, get inside before
every
you talk
once
to
in
him.
a while I'll walk out. How's it going?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back here.
Just a pleasantry.
No,
You
you're wrong. He doesn't want you to hover over him. He just doesn't want you to run from him.
No, listen, just you wait. Next time, I'm going to wait there and see him walking.
Oh, my God.
Because our mailbox is on, next to the door. It's not by the street.
You got the walking mailman.
I got the walking mailman, so he has to park his car and walk.
Carry the bag.
By the way, that's a tell that you're a nicer neighborhood. He's got the walking
Not
mailman.
necessarily.
Jim, do you got the
I
walking
know a
mailman?
bad neighborhood where that's a thing.
I know.
Me and Jim got the walking
Also,
mailman.
older homes have that too.
Yeah, I don't
Me
have
and Jim
it.
got the walking mailman. Your mailman delivers on a car?
I got a mail lady,
and
and she
drives by the car. They puts it aside.
Your mailman takes stuff to your front door or just put it in the box?
He's a listener. Sometimes
it's hard to get to the
he'll
front
write
door
me
with all
notes
the
on my
cat
bills.
shit everywhere. It's got all the kids' toys and cat shit everywhere.
My neighborhood is in the midst of getting gentrified, so it's
gentrified.
He usually puts the packages in the rusted car, and then any mail that he has, he opens the door, and puts it under the visor. In the
some of my neighbors got some bars on the windows, but it's decorative bars. It's not the real bad one.
Yeah, the swirlies. When you got the swirlies on the wrought iron, then it's nicer. I feel.
Oh yeah, and it's in 10 or 20 years, it'll be known as the nice part of town.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not.
He
really.
claims he lives in Maitland, but he really lives in Castleberry.
Yeah, the Winter Park's so close. I can see. I
You
drive
can
by
taste
it. I smell. I
smell money.
I smell money. Not Thornton Park though.
All right, next voicemail.
Oh, a little voicemail. All right, hold on. I got him here. I pulled him up and then I put him away. Give me 1 second. We'll do. How about this one?
Yo guys, BDM Neil over here, listening to the BDM show from, right before the BDM meetup on Saturday, and you guys are talking about, corkscrew penises with dolphins, and I was at SeaWorld the other day with my daughters and everything, and we went down below, because there's like the viewpoint below to see the dolphins and everything, and, I noticed this one dolphin was hunching, and I was like, why is this dolphin hunching? It hunched up, then it straightened back out, and his corkscrew cock was out. And he was just swimming around fast as hell. I have a video. I'll get it from my wife, and I'll send it over to you guys, too. But it was fast as hell. And he just had his cock out, just like swimming, corkscrew everywhere, and it was just hilarious.
Get really excited.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my
breathing
god,
heavy.
you did that? And he was like walking away. It's hilarious. But love y'all. Peace.
Okay.
I didn't know dolphins could swim with their penis out.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Well,
I can.
I don't think I can.
It was like a rudder. You just, get you a little bit better.
Bank to the
little
left.
bit better glide.
I'm at the point now, and Jim, I didn't.
Where you want to buy a
What do you
dolphin?
want?
Buy a dolphin for your pool?
Well, I didn't circumcise my son.
You gonna bring this up in front of Jim?
Well,
Yeah, tell me.
I'll tell you because I talked once I started realizing why as Americans we circumcised boys. I started railing against it on the show. Even before that, I it was like the guy that owned and started Kellogg's cereal went on this like crazy marketing campaign to like shame people for like masturbating, and like was telling people to circumcise their kids to keep them from masturbating. It was closer to like the Lord, or, it's like it's a bizarre history of it. Anyway, long story short, I was like, I'm not gonna cut my son's penis skin off. This foreskin seems stupid. I didn't do it. But now I'm at the point where my sons are asking questions that I don't know how to answer. And
like what?
Well, just like, why don't I have this? And I went on this long explanation, like me and Tommy talking on the phone.
Are you on the phone? Are you in the car? I'm in the car.
Because he's like,
why do you have?
He's like,
no
Daddy,
skin on
why
your
don't? Yeah. He's like, why
pee-pee?"
don't you have to pull yours back? And why isn't yours like
Just tell him the truth.
purple? I did, but then
Why is it yours purple? What color's yours? What do you have going on?
What, mine?
He's tan leather.
Yeah, my dick is a desensitized tan leather because it's been out.
It looks like an old baseball mitt.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Yes, yeah.
Men who have been circumcised are more prone to violence than men who have not been circumcised.
Really?
Because I think men who have been circumcised in their infancy were traumatized, and they've internalized that somehow. It can't be. I don't care. You're 2 days old, whatever the heck it is.
That's a sensitive
They
area.
strap you to something.
Exactly. And
it's pretty barbaric.
Generally speaking, I really do believe that. However, I might add that a circumcised penis is a hell of a lot better looking than an uncircumcised penis.
I'm with you.
There's no question about that.
Yeah,
and I never saw one until I was in military school in high school.
Right.
And I had guys from South America, and they weren't circumcised. Like, what the fuck? I never. It was like, to me, it was a deformity.
Yeah. That's too silly. I see my son's penis. I'm like, ew.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know, Jim. Listen.
You gotta get skin. You gotta do that
Add
thing.
the skin?
We talked to this guy
Can you
a while
pull
ago.
your Daisy Dukes down? Because I'm pretty sure one of your balls is about to fall out. Jesus Christ. He's getting excited and jumping around in his seat, and it keeps pulling his shorts.
Can you write that in your
So what do
human
you?
resources
Do you wait
notebook,
until a decision you make when you're of age, or I know an adult who got it circumcised, and it was. According to
well, you
him,
can do that. You can do
horrific.
reverse. There's a guy that we talked to him about a couple years ago when we first got in the studio, where this guy has invented this thing that sits on a circumcised penis, and it will stretch the remaining skin down over it, so you can be like your sons.
What?
Remember, we talked to that guy.
Tugger, wasn't it? Or something?
Tugger.
Oh, you're
I'm
right.
not doing that.
I forgot about that.
Oh, you could probably do that on your own with string and a brick.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah.
It's like a string and a brick scenario.
Yeah. But
You need to do that every night. You use your tugger.
So what do you? I mean,
I told him, I was like, well, Daddy, when Daddy was born, there used to be a thing back in the day. You'd cut the skin. And they're like, why would you? He's asking why. I'm like,
and just
I don't.
You say I don't know.
Yeah,
it was just something people did, and now I decided not to do it to you.
And then they're like,
Ask
I don't
Grandma.
want.
Or you could use this to your advantage. You could be like, well, Daddy didn't eat all his vegetables.
The problem is,
so they cut part of his penis off as retribution.
Here's the thing.
Start the new lie tradition.
All these forward-thinking people, they were like, don't circumcise your kid, and I agreed with it. They didn't tell me the part of what the penis head looks like when you don't circumcise, because it's more sensitive and it's a different color. The first time my sons showed me, I was like, no! They're like, and then it freaked them out. And now they know it because I didn't know what to expect because I'd never dealt with it. And so I am having a hard time with it.
I wonder in countries where men are not circumcised, generally speaking, whether if a female in that country saw a penis that was circumcised, would they find that hideous?
They probably would. They would be like, what the heck?
What about you, Butler? You're from England.
Yeah.
Most people aren't circumcised.
Correct.
So, like,
Really?
growing up,
I didn't know that.
were you in the shower? I'm uncircumcised too, but that's because I was a preemie, and my penis was too small at birth to. If they'd circumcised, they probably lopped the whole thing off. So it's probably a good thing they didn't, because I was like so small, you hold me in the palm of your hand, So like it was important. Like, and my dad wasn't circumcised either. I don't know why It's weird.
It's a weird thing for him from being from Virginia.
I think a
It is
lot
weird.
of southern states back in the day didn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, both
Yeah.
my brothers aren't.
Really?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, like
so Butler, growing up, did you ever see you're taking a shower in gym class? You see a kid that was circumcised, maybe an expat or somebody over there. Like what?
No, well, I immigrated over here when I was like 4 years old, so I don't recall seeing anything. All my friends in the United States, they were all circumcised when I was younger. Like, I mean,
Weird.
Yeah, I was the odd one out.
There seems no rhyme or reason to it now, right?
Yeah.
It almost just
Hey,
seems.
Dad doesn't. I mean, it's real. I mean, it's got to be traumatizing somehow.
Yeah.
I would
Oh, you
imagine.
think?
when I
Yeah.
found out how you did
Like,
it,
oh, you're just 2 days old. It's not going to hurt.
yeah, they have to.
I mean, it hurts, but
Yeah, I mean, of
I
course.
think, I think what people justify it is like they won't remember it. Not that it won't hurt, but just
Yeah.
kind of like when people get their baby's ears pierced, like it still hurts, but
Yeah.
they're like, oh,
yeah, but
you
it's
know.
it's somewhere down
Right, I
deep
agree.
in there.
I think it is as
Subconscious.
well.
Of course, like, and then I mean, shit. I remember when Ross told me, like, his first son, they thought he was like, oh, okay, everybody circumcised a kid, and then when he told us about, and he went through the process,
And it
then
traumatized him too.
they
Yeah.
strapped him to this
Like a
board
cross.
as a infant, and they're cutting the
It
penis.
sounds like
it's
medieval,
insane.
medieval shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like putting leeches on you because you had like some sort of the flu.
Well, that works though.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Let's do another email.
All right.
Let's do one more email, one more voicemail, and then we'll.
Yep. Then we'll call it a day.
My dad had an 8-foot satellite in the backyard. 20 years after
I'm
he
glad
quit-
you said my dad had an 8-foot satellite in the
Uh-huh.
backyard. I thought that was going someplace else.
20 years after he quit using it, someone came and bought the dish off the pole for scrap, I assume. To this day, he hangs bird feeders off of it and tries to shoot squirrels that steal the bird feed.
That is so redneck. I love it.
With the pellet gun that he keeps beside the back door. We don't have swamp people in Delaware, but we have rednecks, and those are my people. Love the show. The single funniest part of the show is Dan singing as Tom. Kiss from a Rose almost made me run off the highway. Hi to Sam, Tom, and Butler.
All right.
We had talked
Jim,
about
did you ever
having
have
the giant satellites.
Did you ever have the satellite dish?
Oh, yeah.
The big one.
The big one, the giant one.
And at the time, it was the way because like cable's out, but it was not out to everybody. Like, why did
Well, it was
they have this-
expensive to some people back in the day,
What
too.
was
Yeah,
the
it was just a
allure?
way. Well, we didn't have cable.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
the only way. But you have a remote control, but it would take for to change a channel,
Right.
Because the dish would have to
move,
rotate
yeah.
to another satellite or just. But it was huge. I mean, it was a big.
My
Yeah, you
grandparents
had the
had
big
that.
10-foot one in your backyard.
Yeah, it was like a big radar thing. I mean,
And
Did
at
you
that-
have the dial that would let you know which way to turn it, and you'd mark the channels?
I
My
can't
grandparents
remember
had
how.
it.
All I remember is it had to actually move and rotate. And,
Yeah, they had this thing where you would turn it, and then you could hear it. It would go like, kicking, kicking, kicking,
Yeah.
kicking. And if you looked outside, you'd see it going, and it'd be like, well, I dialed it to like, let's say, get Fox. I want to watch like The Simpsons or something, and it would have to like kicking, kicking, kicking,
Yeah.
kicking, like you're moving artillery to shoot a like, it was kind of scary.
It was.
Very loud. You couldn't do it at night. I'd wake up my parents if I snuck in there to watch TV.
It
was
seems
just
like an insanely expensive
Oh,
item
it was.
too. Was it?
It was very expensive.
Like have a satellite dish. Like what are we talking here? Like 10 grand for them to come and
I had
install
a
it?
Part of a promotion.
Oh,
or
sure.
whatever.
No, that's awesome. Like some satellite company
It's
was
like something
promoting.
you see over at the Cape.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like news stations have on the roof still.
exactly.
Yeah, it's me and Daniel have been obsessed with like old technology that at one time was like super expensive, like intercoms in people's houses.
Oh, yeah.
Like my grandma had an intercom, and like the intercom
in the bedroom,
system,
you'd have the main that would have on the bottom. It would have like a radio analog where you could run music throughout the house. Never worked. Then you'd have it was the big one, and it was the master one, so the other rooms could communicate with like the bedroom or the kitchen, and you'd hold the button down and you could dial it in, and like talk to people like dinner's ready, like. But I don't know anybody that ever used it. It never worked.
technology is the worst when it comes to it's super expensive when it first comes out, and then literally like a satellite dish worth scrap metal. Like it doesn't hold at all. My buddy Logic Man, he bought like one of the first plasma TVs, like a 50-inch, and he paid like $4,500 for it, like in like early 2000s or whatever. And like $4,500 for a 50-inch plasma, and like I think he's still making monthly payments on it. It's that bad, like, and he won't get rid of it. I'm like, dude, you could buy a 4K.
I mean, it's got to be
for nothing.
It's got to be
Walmart.
reaching the end of its lifetime too.
You can put off some heat too.
You can get a 65-inch 4K at Walmart for $380. It's nothing. It's like this TV is worth $0. You couldn't even give it away on Craigslist.
Like I saw a lady at Best Buy. I went in there to get a phone case. I saw a lady in Best Buy, just to show you how cheap TVs are, who was buying two 65-inch TVs for her kids. Like she had them on a thing.
Oh my God!
It wasn't that expensive. They weren't like ultra 4K. They weren't like you're not dealing with top of the line Samsung or Sony or anything like that. But
Did you even have a TV in your room when you were a kid?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
I was
no.
Fucking crazy. And they all have TVs in the rooms, iPads. My God, damn
well,
it.
everybody's
These
got
kids
a
are
car
spoiled.
now. Every kid's got a car.
Well,
did you have a car when you were in
Well, a
high
lot of them
school?
aren't driving it now. They
When I
all
was-
just Uber and Lyft
Yeah, well,
everywhere.
I had to build mine with my dad.
Well,
An
Jim,
82 Rabbit. We had to put it back together.
Here's the thing. The new thing is the kids don't even want to. They don't even want a car
Right.
because Uber. Like we talked to a kid that was like 19 or whatever. He's like, I don't got my driver's license yet. He's like, I just Uber everywhere. He's like, I don't want to pay for the car payment, the insurance.
Yeah.
All he's like, it's cheaper
They're not
to
even
Uber.
learning how to drive, Jim.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter to them. And I'm like, what? And like because when I was 16,
Didn't
like I
he
got my dad's
Uber
truck.
home? Are you talking about the kid we
Yeah,
came in here?
yeah.
Like, what's his name?
Robert.
Robert. And then I'm like, where's your car, buddy? He's like, no, I'm just Ubering home, calling an Uber. And he just gets in an Uber and drives away.
And it is cheaper because you don't have to pay for all the shit. You know?
Insurance.
Yeah. And
Gas.
Yeah.
You know, like none of that. I mean, I guess. I don't know if it's safer.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd be
of course
putting my
it is.
daughter in an Uber.
Dude, well, here's the thing. If
Well, you can't say, of course it is. Your Uber driver might be a
Well,
shitty driver.
That's
the thing
what I'm
is,
saying.
when I was 16, there was no other way to like get around. Like there was no Uber or whatever. So when you go to parties or whatever, like listen, I'm not proud of it, but when I was in high school, I was driving
Right.
drunk
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit
yeah.
because what are you gonna call an $80 taxi?
plus less experienced driver at 16, 17.
Of course, yeah. So
kids are going to parties now and they're taking an Uber to a
Yes.
party?
yeah.
Well, that is
yeah.
safer because they're probably
sure.
not
Well,
doing
yeah, I
it.
guess if you're a parent, you're going, I'd rather have them do that than get behind the wheel.
Yeah,
Right.
because
Yeah.
think about it, like even
Stupid, shitty driver.
yeah, I mean, my stepdad told me when he was in high school and everybody was driving drunk. It wasn't like there was no other way to drive. It was like everybody on the street
True.
after 11 o'clock was drunk. Like he's like it was insanity. And then that's how you lived. And like now, of course, it's better. But if you don't have to drive, of course.
Thank you to
it's gonna be
Jesus Peace
automated.
for the bits.
It
We
does depend where
appreciate
you live, though. Because when I went, I stayed out in Candler in the mountains in, Asheville. They no Uber or Lyft.
No Uber.
They will not drive up the mountains.
Yeah.
that. One more voicemail and get out of here.
All right.
Here's our last one of the day.
Hey everybody. So thanks to you guys. I listen to Dan Cummins' podcast a lot, Time Suck, and he talks a lot about serial killers, and one common thing with these serial killers, especially nowadays, is the reason that they didn't get caught before they killed a bunch of people is because the police failed to investigate or even file a report when something crazy was reported. And so, I feel like we see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really great cops out there. There's cops who maybe kind of always follow protocol and know that you should always, look into shit because, hey, this guy could be fucking nuts. He could be like the next Charles Manson. You got to look into it. So anyhow, over here in Tampa, my mother, she's been, just randomly getting calls from some guy doing like the old school, like heavy breathing, spanking into the phone sort of thing. And he's sending like wang pics and stuff. So she goes to the police like 3 times. And, I just heard about this today. Right. So like, I don't know what to do because like she tells me she went to the police 3 times and they never filed a report. They just showed her how to block the number, but the call still kept coming through. You know how it is. Grandma with her crappy Android phone. But anyway, so this guy keeps sending these pictures. And so she goes to the police today, and the officer takes the phone And he calls the guy, and he goes, "Hey, this is my new phone. Why are you sending me pictures of your penis, dude? I'm a guy. I don't want to see that." And so he hangs up, and he gives the phone back to my mom, and he says, "If the guy tries to text you again, just pretend to be a dude, and he'll probably leave you alone. And if he doesn't, come back. Let us know." And so that was the end of that.
I like that cop.
Visit. And you got a cop doing some role playing, and that was just the end of it. So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. Thanks, love the show.
I feel like that's grade A detective work.
Well, listen.
Hey, what are you doing? It's my new phone.
Could you hold on?
Problem solved.
Yeah, way to go.
There are a million stories in the Naked City, and this is just one of them.
Exactly. Tough day on the beat today. Had to pretend to be a dude who's getting dick pics on his Android phone.
I'm going to defend police here for a second. Usually I don't, but they get a lot of bullshit. They have to imagine the
We have
reports.
a lot of cops that listen to us, like listeners that are police officers, and then they tell us some of the stories of the stuff they have to deal with. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you graduate from the police academy. You think you're gonna, go after all people who are seriously bad.
You're saving people.
And all of a sudden, you go, what do you want me to do?
It's
what the fuck is wrong with your phone? The lady, when he called you, get a whistle. Just blow a whistle into the. What are you doing?
What
are you doing to me?
Yeah. It's every paranoid old
See,
lady.
This is a gold shield. I'm a detective. Fuck you. Get out of here.
Come on, really? Every old lady's looking out the window. There is a black gentleman walking down the sidewalk, and he looks suspicious. You're like, oh my God! Everything is some bullshit report. People are calling because they didn't get their chicken McNuggies at the drive-thru. They're wasting your time. I called the cops one time because my house was broken into, and the cops came over. They're like, oh, what was taken? I'm like, these video games, some of my wife's jewelry. They're like, okay, we're gonna dust for prison. Oh, well,
wait, didn't your porno tape get
yeah, we think it did. And then
he made a homemade porno with his wife.
Yeah.
Stolen?
It's out there somewhere.
It's gonna be a prize in a bingo game someplace.
I'm hoping that they can't
I got this
transfer
unmarked porno. If anybody, bingo!
Here you are.
Yours, Mabel.
It was before digital cameras were out, so it was on an old
mini
cassette.
DVD.
Guess what? They'll figure it out.
I know, but it's
Super 8.
It
So
seems like
many heat bumps on his butt.
most of the shit they deal with is bullshit, right? I couldn't imagine being a cop.
Well,
Waste
Joe,
of
our
time.
firefighter buddy.
Oh yeah, he's never putting out fires.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk about fighting a fire. All he talks about
He's
are
like
all
Narcaning
these
bums.
Yeah, he's usually Narcaning bums.
Yeah, well, that's what firefighters do. I mean, that's the name of the game now.
You Narcan bums, you Narcan some other people.
Narcan everybody.
Yeah, you're so Narcaning everybody.
Narcan myself because I'm bored.
Every once in a while, someone pulls off the side of the road and the heat from their engine sets the grass on fire.
You got that odd man out firefighter. Lights a fire someplace. I gotta fight a fire. I gotta fight a fire. I gotta put the helmet on. I gotta put the coat, the boots.
It's all paranoid
I gotta
old ladies.
slide down the pole.
It's a paranoid old lady, Narcans and bums.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true, though. I mean, they're
Public service.
paramedics for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
hey,
Mr.
thank
Phillips,
you so much
thanks
for
so much,
sitting in, man.
Yeah.
So much fun today.
Somebody canceled today. Sinbad.
No, Sinbad.
He was.
Was he in here?
Yeah.
Oh, was he? I knew he was in
Like
town.
a month ago or so.
Yeah,
Told
us
us very nice.
He used to go to private where they'd sell planes and pretend to be like a sheik and with a bunch of money and get him to fly him around and go out
Like
to
a
dinner.
test drive.
Like the sales guy for the Learjet would fly him around and just scam. Apparently you wanted to be a professional scam artist.
I don't know what his game is. I mean, 25 years ago, he was really at the top of it.
Oh,
He had a comedy special. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
He was Sinbad. What are you laughing at? It was funny.
He's
a funny guy.
He's still super funny and was really, really nice.
Very nice, yeah.
You know, it looks like he's taking care. You know what he's really into that was weird? Tech. He's
Really?
really like he knew
more about tech
he
than I
knew
did.
everything I have.
No
in here. He's
kidding.
like, I know what that is. I know what that is. He's like, oh, I got 2 of those. He's like, how do you like your Stream Deck for the cameras? I was like, whoa, all right, and yeah, he's
So is Ed Norton, the actor. He's a big techie guy.
really
Gigantic techie guy.
I think it's smart to stay on top of that stuff, but
I'm clueless.
I'm noticing myself
me
slipping a
and
little
Jim,
bit. I'm slipping a little bit.
I don't know nothing.
You and
about
Jim are going to be playing banjos.
That's what I
singing to
want.
the crows.
I don't
pretty
want to
soon.
do nothing. I'm like, Jim, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself.
I just sit in the chair and yell at the TV.
For me, it's gambling.
I want to play my banjo. I want to drink a little bit. I want to yell at my son's penis for being gross. Get right? That's all you want to do?
And then just some gambling.
Yeah. Anything to plug before we get out of here?
Porky's Barbecue tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. Make sure you get out there.
Yep, you can do that. Jim, do you have anything to plug?
Nope, not at all.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
Isn't that great to not have anything to plug?
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want nothing to plug.
Nothing to plug is pretty awesome.
Like, Tom, you got anything? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing forever.
In fact, I'm looking for things. Yeah, I'm looking for fun things to do.
Yeah.
Butler?
Fun things to do. Thornton Park Halloween party tomorrow night. They got it's from 8 to 2 a.m. $20, $60 tickets. That includes a lot of shit. You have DJs out there, Cirque du Soleil themed crowd performers, stilt walkers, all kinds of crazy stuff. Food trucks.
Yeah, huge cash prizes for costume contests. And I was literally telling one of our BDMs, they're like, I'm going to be downtown. Anything? I'm like, dude, go to Thornton Park Halloween because
it'll be nicer.
Here's the thing: it's not going to be a bunch of frat boys. It'll be
it's a bunch of rich
good.
women. Isn't that what you said?
No, it's a nice
we
event.
had these ladies in from Thornton Park. They're like on the board and everything, and they sit down and Tom's like, "Oh, so you guys are the rich lady."
No,
like,
I didn't say that.
He insulted. They are
Jim,
so insulted.
I'm just saying, people our age, they got kids. You were not going to go downtown to Church Street if a bunch of frat boys.
That ship has sailed for me. I'm out of that.
So I'm just saying, it's a more of an upscale Halloween party. That's what I would like.
Yeah, they're really nice, and the setup that they have is going to be phenomenal. So look forward to that. What else?
One more thing, we got. It's actually not this weekend. It's next Tuesday. So my buddies over at Buster's Bistro. They have an awesome
I love
event.
Buster's Bistro.
They have a breast cancer awareness with delirium event. It starts at 5 o'clock. You're going to have Bravo Barfoot, my buddy. He's actually the delirium rep. He's going to be selling out. He has a great deal with delirium, deliria, passion fruit delirium, all these different varieties from delirium.
Is that any good?
They are fantastic. They're all 8% or higher beers. They're phenomenal. Every deliria you actually get a free glassware, delirium glassware, and $1 goes towards breast cancer awareness from delirium. So it's a really great cause. Highly recommend that. That's next Tuesday.
Awesome.
So I think that's it. Jim, thanks again for coming.
My pleasure. Anytime, guys.
Yep.
And if you want to listen to Semantics tonight, we're recording with Butler and Juan from the Twitch chat.
Yeah,
so
and also you
out.
can sign up to join Samantha's Patreon. You get extra shows that go completely off the rails. They're really, really fun. And where can people find that, Samantha?
Patreon.com/semantics.
Yeah, you throw her a couple bucks, join up, and you get some really, really clever and cool special shows.
Thank you to BMs, and we'll see you next week.